with a million smiles. Catching all the love from around the world. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light, shine your light in the darkest times? You make it bright, here bright. Life's dreams, we're all by your side, by your side. Keep on doing what you do, girl. You're one of a kind, one of a kind. Shelly, you're our last street star. Keep rocking your show, no matter where you are.
Hey, Shelly from the block. Jersey girl with a mouth that won't stop, no more. Sassy, and I'm not afraid to show it. Gonna spill the tea, you better be ready for it. I speak my mind, no filter inside. Shelly's in the house, talking trash and truth. No sugar-coated blues. Yeah, out the way. Jersey girl with something to say. Shelly's in the house, time to break the rules. From coast to the city, I'm the queen of cool. You can handle the heat, then take the high. Shelly's in the house, drop the mic.
Hey, Shelly in the house tonight. Living it up, feeling so right. New Jersey girl, she's got that style. Life stream queen with a million smiles. And she know the love from around the world. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? It's time to make it right. Life stream queens with a wayside. You're one of a kind. Shelly, you're a last street star. Keep rocking the show no matter where you are. Yeah.
Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. This is Shelly, your mouthy mama, talking trash and truths, and this is a pop-up stream for Coffee and Chaos with T3. That's me, little neurotic me. It is April 25th, 2024 at 9:38 a.m., not my exact usual time. I'm 5 minutes late, but I was debating going live or not. I see my neuroses bring all the boys to the yard. Look who's here. We got Judge Maddie, T-Rex, and 357 Sig beats a 9mm. Very nice. Hello, gentlemen. How are you? I know I don't do pop-ups a lot, but I had kind of a shit night. So, Maddie says, ooh, a pop-up. T-Rex, how you doing? 357's just dancing. He said, I'm breaking rules. Switch to cold brewski instead of coffee. I'm down with that. I am. Judge Maddie, are you 5 minutes late or are you 23 hours and 55 minutes early? I mean, that's one way to look at it. Thank you. I don't feel like such a fuck up. Oh my God, what a night it's been. I was not going to go live, but I need to feel like I'm not by myself right now. So if you're new or you only pop in once in a while, you might not know about one of my male best friends. His name is Tommy. He lives in Florida. Well, I mean, I guess you could call it he's in Florida. I wouldn't call it living. I mean, he's breathing. But he has been one of my best friends since I'm 17. He's responsible for my sense of humor, just so you know. He's responsible for me thinking that anything I say or do is okay because he used to just roll with the punches. So I figured if he could take it because he's a little temperamental, then anybody else could too. He encouraged me to be as debaucherous as I ever wanted to be. He taught me how to allow people to touch me and enjoy it again. Uh, he was responsible for a lot of the quirky, fun parts of me, of my personality. However, a couple years ago, he went for a boat ride with his girlfriend, and he was really drunk and she was really high, and they had a very toxic relationship. And he kind of might have sort of beat the hell out of her, choked her to death, and threw her in the river. So they convicted him of, I believe, first degree murder, and he got life without parole in Daytona Beach, Florida. So, when you hear life without parole, you think, what? Life without parole. Like, you figure, okay, like, all right, I'm reconciling myself to one of my best friends is a murderer. Okay. And I can get past that. I did for a long time. Yeah. I'm good with it as long as he's locked up. But see, they have this thing where they alert you. You have to request it, but they alert you if there's any change in their, position, if they're moving around or whatever. And this is the second time this has happened. Last night at 8:45, I got a text. He was on the move. They were moving him from the state prison to the county prison for court because he put in a what's it called, a 3850. It's like his last appeal or whatever. And I know that they worked a long time on this. The family actually hired a lawyer to help him do this. Like, they did everything. And they filed it last time, and this was like 2 months ago. And they put him back in the state prison. So I was thinking, okay, great. I hate to say it, but he went back to prison because, if he gets out, he's going to make a beeline right for me because he got it in his head that I would make the perfect ministry wife. Yeah. Don't know where he got that shit from, but okay. Cause in jail, of course he found Jesus, cause Jesus is just laying around in there doing nothing, just waiting for them to, come back to him. And he found Jesus and proceeded to try to shove Jesus down my throat for like 2 years till like really just snapped. And we were never the same after that. And then he snapped at me. And he's never even raised his voice to me. Never even raised his voice to me. Over 30 years we've been friends. 33 years from my 7th. It was like 2 days before my 17th birthday. And I love Tommy. He's my friend. He's one of my best friends. But he never so much as raised his voice at me. And then one day he just snapped on the phone. Now he was in jail and he's being recorded. And he just fucking lost it on me. And he was just screaming and calling me every name he could. And I was like, first I was like, ugh. And I'm like looking at the phone and I was like, bro, fuck you. And I hung up on him. And I blocked him, and he sent me an email because they get tablets in jail, y'all. Did you know that? They get tablets. So they can watch movies and listen to music and send, harassing emails. So he went off on me in this email about what a horrible person I was. I wasn't his friend. I was only his friend when it benefited me. That's what he said. Mind you, he'd already been in jail for 4 years when this happened? 3 years, about 4 years. And the only person who stood by him besides his mother was me the whole time. Who paid for his commissary? I did. Who paid for his seasonal, gift things that he gets full of all these foods and t-shirts and toothpaste and whatever. I would pay every season to have a care package sent to him. Who wrote him letters 2-3 times a week because that's what he wanted? Who sent fucking pictures of herself to him? Just my face. Because he asked for them, not knowing he was renting out my picture. For real. He was renting my picture out so guys could go get off. And because I have such a sweet face, they said. Such a sweet face. She's got such a nice, innocent face. Oh, okay. Nice, innocent face and, DSL lips. That's great. So what a combination. And the big old green eyes. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, he made money in jail by turning my face into jerk off material. So, you can guess I wasn't pleased when I found that out. No feet pics. They go for the face. They miss the face. Yeah. So, and God knows what he's locked up with, but I have really nice skin. I have freckles. I have green eyes. I have big pouty lips, tiny nose. I smile all the fucking time. So yeah, they like those pics. So I get the text last night that he's on the move. They will let me know any updates. And I didn't say a word about it. I was on the phone with Winning. And I got the text and I just kind of froze. And I shut down a lot. I did. It was almost immediate because the fear just spikes. And I didn't say anything. We watched some episodes of stuff we were catching up on, and me and Winning. And then we were watching a series, and I fell asleep around, I'd say around 2:30, 3 o'clock, around there. I don't even remember being tired. I just remember waking up at 4:30 to silence. And I was like, oh, I feel like I slept an hour, but I think I slept an hour and a half. And Winnie had left me, in the room sleeping. He was like, all right, whatever. She's snoring away. And he went off. And I couldn't fall back asleep. So I just sat up and I was watching different videos, and I'm trying to come up with a plan on different streams to do and whatever. And I get another text this morning. Let's see if I can find it. One sec. Damn it. Open up. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Damn it. I know I saved it. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Window. I don't know exactly what I'm showing you. Here we go. I think that's it. Yeah. So there you go. At what time does that say? You're gonna have to bear with me because I've had almost no sleep, and my nerves are shot. So 9:10 this morning. That's right, because that's why I wanted to go live. It says that he is in court and will stay in custody at the Volusia County Corrections Facility during the court proceedings, and the judge may release the offender directly from court. Now, see, I understand that that means he could release him directly back into the state correctional facility authority, but it also means he could just get released because this is his last appeal. And I really, 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 really hope that Steve Cosney, wins his side, like that he turns down the appeal or has something to do with the appeal getting turned down. Because I really don't want to have him just show up. I got to get the fuck out of this town. I got to go somewhere where nobody has my address. Because he knows where I live. He freaking stayed here so many goddamn times, and I haven't moved in 20 years. I've been in the same apartment. His brothers live in town. When I blocked him every way I could because I just couldn't take it anymore. And he was texting me, 3 times a day. He was calling me twice a day, every day for like over a month. That I was like, I would check my blocked message and it just says jail, 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 new jail. Because he figured out ways to call from other numbers that I didn't have blocked. And then when I would get them, I'd be like, what the fuck? So I'm just nervous. I just don't want to be by myself. So y'all are just keeping me company, I guess. I don't have anything particular on the brain except for this. I missed a whole bunch of chat. Let me go back. I thought I delivered at 10 a.m., but turns out I was supposed to be there at 9. So I'm super late. Whoops. Oh, T-Rex. I'm sorry, honey. T-Rex said he certainly is required by the state of Florida to stay there. I mean, I hope if he gets this fucking appeal. He's a registered Democrat. Why wouldn't they want to let him out? I mean, in Florida, maybe they'll keep him in just for that reason. That'd be great. Being late. 357 says being late makes my agent orange. Act up. Okay. Anxiety City. Yeah. I'm never late for anything, usually. I don't consider myself late this morning because this is a pop-up stream and I can do it whenever the fuck I want. But yeah, no, my father, daddy was very gotta be there. If you're not early, you're late. On time is not a thing. And it used to suck getting everywhere early because then that meant if they weren't done setting up for whatever they were doing, they'd enlist us. You'd be like, come on, it's great. Yeah, that's great. I don't wanna. What? You got to figure daddy passed away when I was 13. So he had to deal with me from 13 before that. So yeah, I was not the most get up and goer. Like if he was like, oh, we got to set up chairs. I'm like, I don't want to. Because I was young. I was like, I don't want to. Who the hell wants to do that? I always wound up doing it. Daddy just had a way of just looking at you like, oh, like I just couldn't disappoint him. So strange. I know. Um, what should we call it? Holy Shelly is the preacher's pet. Don't, because he has plans. I've heard these plans. Judge Maddie, well, he is single again. So, yeah, no. How about no? How about no? Listen, Tommy was my fuck buddy for over 30 years. Okay. I never twisted and turned it. That's what we were. Yes, we were best friends, but we were best friends with a lot of benefits. And I never had those kind of feelings for him. I love him. I love him today just as much as I love him, I loved him 30 years ago. That doesn't mean that the fear factor is the same. That doesn't mean that I don't love myself a whole lot more than I love him, because I do. I do. Those are words he wants me to say, and I won't say them. Oh, he came up with everything. He's, oh, why don't you move down to Florida? He was like, oh, we can get married in the jail. Married in the jail? What the fuck you take me for? Like, are you kidding? He was like, what, they do conjugal? I don't give a shit. No. Like, you want me to be what? Your jail piece? Fuck you. No. No. I would heavily invest in batteries long before I ever even thought about giving that a second thought. Nope. Puffer smiles. Yes, caught your ass at nap time. Hope your day is going well, Shelly. Not so far, babe. Not so far. Because the exes suck. And I don't really consider him an ex, except that, well, I mean, I guess he was. Because we worked together for like a year, but that was in the very beginning. Where I kind of looked at him and was like, bro, I can't with you. He was like, why? I was like, I can't, because you're a liar and all you do is cheat. And I know how you lie. So it's like, when you start lying and then you have to stop yourself and go, oh, yeah, well, whatever. I was with this girl. I'm just like, really? Like, why did you even attempt to try to lie to me? He always said, my lie detector is ridiculous. And I love to let people, I love to let them lie. Because I'm just sitting there going, that's one. That's another. Okay. And I'm just keeping tally in my head. This way later when they say, well, I'm like, all right, let me tell you something about you. T-Rex knows. He's heard me. That's when I tell him you did bop, 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 bop. And they're just like, you knew? That's their main thing. You knew? Of course I knew. Fuck, am I stupid? Trust me, not stupid. Very observant. And for as much as I talk, there's a lot of things I keep quiet about until I just can't keep quiet anymore. This one I can't, because he honestly does scare me. He terrifies me. Not that I try not to think about what he did, because it was fucking brutal. It was brutal what he did to her. I never thought him capable of that, ever. I told everybody I believed he was innocent, because I did. Till I saw his interrogation tape. And I just watched him just lie. And he didn't even lie well. So it wasn't even like a Tommy lie. Like I watched and I was like, bro, like, are you still drunk? Like, because he had to have still been drunk to have been lying that bad. He's a much better liar than that. I mean, he's an amazing con artist. He's got a line of shit a mile long. He's very charming when he wants to be. But in that thing, oh no. It was bad. You could see it. It's called Crime Story, I believe. What happened to Crystal Pfeiffer? That's the girl that he threw in the river. and then went home, did laundry, and then went back when they found her body and was at the scene when they found her body. And I remember him telling me, and I was just like, "Are you stupid?" And he was like, "I didn't do it. I'm innocent." I said, "I get it. It's recorded and yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're innocent. Woohoo. But are you stupid? Don't yell at me. I'm gonna fucking yell at you." He was like, "Oh." And then he used to have the nerve to like tell me about my life. "Oh, you shouldn't do this. And you shouldn't do that." And blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, "Bro, of the two of us, which one of us is locked up? Because it's not me. I've never been locked up. I don't plan to ever be locked up because I don't plan to commit any crimes. You, however, shouldn't even see the light of day. So, like, how are you going to tell me about me?" And then he found Jesus, or Jesus found him, and he was all happy and light. And it's amazing, Michelle. I've never felt anything like this. I feel so free, but you're not. I don't have any unclean thoughts. I was like, yeah, okay. I don't even think about sex. A bigger man whore you're never gonna meet. Like, literally, there's nothing he won't do. Like, he's ready to go 24/7. Like, and you're telling me you don't think of it because Jesus is in your heart now. So you don't think about sex. Yeah. You don't think about sex because it's not available to you. All right. You're only, and I know this about him personally, he's only as faithful as his options. So, meh. Um, those are the best friends. Shelly's a sweetheart. Thank you, 357. I needed that. No, Maddie, not feet pics, face pics, which makes me feel worse because I would rather they have my feet because then they can't find me. With my face, they know what I look like. I want to know what he charged. He got first-degree murder. Yeah. So, Yippers, my basketball coach always said that. Said what? 30 Jeebus, that's a solid guy. I mean, I've been friends with him a long time. Shelly, I'm working in the same deal with my bestie. We freaks in the sheets and friends in the day. Daytime friends, nighttime lovers. Yep. Although we didn't care if the sun was out. We didn't need it in the sheets. We just do it outside. Didn't really matter. All I was doing was dropping him off somewhere one day. And it was just like, oh, all right. Like, sure, why not? I drove him somewhere and then I wound up getting a ride as well. So it was like, all right. We never stopped. Never. It didn't like the only time we didn't like hook up was when I was married or in a relationship because he knows I don't do that. He does that. He don't give a fuck. But me, no. I'm a one man kind of woman. I can't cheat. I can't do it. I feel guilt for talking to other people as friends. So me cheating, yeah, that's not going to happen. No, no, the guilt is real. Okay, happy thought, Shelly. Yeah, I know. Crime story famous. Oh yeah, oh yeah. This happened down in Daytona Beach. On, I believe it's called the Halifax River. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have video footage of him like pulling away from the restaurant dock with her and the thing, and he doesn't even have the lights on the boat, and he's completely out of it, and she's all fucked up. They like to paint her as like this angel. She's not. If you ever ran her mugshots, she's got more mugshots than he does, and it's all drug possession and petty theft, and then getting caught with like drug paraphernalia and drugs on her and whatever. So she had a lot of addictions. She had a lot of mental problems. She had a kid that was all physically like messed up because she was a goddamn crackhead or whatever the hell she took. A meth head, I'm assuming. But I mean, he was so embarrassed by her, he didn't even tell me he was with her for a year until this thing happened. And that means he didn't call me for almost a year. He missed my birthday, which he never misses. He didn't even miss my birthday this year. He sent an email. But I don't email him back, just so you know. I have an account, they go to it, and I just go, shit. He was so embarrassed that he didn't tell me about her. And he knows he can't keep shit from me because he'll say hello and I'll go, "What'd you do?" And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "What'd you do?" "What do you mean what I do?" "I didn't do anything." You don't know. You think you know. All right. So then I die. And I'm like, yeah, all right. Because he knows I've known him way too long and he's been way too honest with me to get away with shit. Because he tried lying to me in the beginning when we became friends. And I told him, I said, "You want to end this friendship real quick? Lie to me again." He was like, "Yeah, but you wouldn't, you know, the truth might hurt you." I was like, "First of all, I'm not in love with you, so the truth ain't going to hurt me." I was like, "You can tell me anything. We're friends. Like, that's what we are. The fact that we bone all the fucking time doesn't mean shit, but we're friends. You know, it doesn't matter that we were dating for a year. None of that mattered because I never developed feelings for him like that. I mean, I love him, but there was never any like, oh my God, this is the one for me." Never. Never. And I knew he didn't feel like that either. So it was never, you know, there was never any contention between us. We accepted each other as we were. I had horrible taste in men, which he knew. And he was a womanizer. Like, I don't even know if you can call him a womanizer. He wasn't mean to any of them. He just really loved women in quantity. So, it was like, when he said he was moving to Florida, he was like, "You're not surprised?" I was like, "You fucked literally every free fucking female in this town. Where else are you going to go? Like, you got nothing left here. Like, you pretty much took care of North Jersey and Central Jersey, and you're working your way down the shore. So, like, I guess you kind of have to go to Florida. You have to go to some state that's bigger because you fucked your way right out of Jersey." I swear to God, like, I was at work and this girl comes up to me. She was like, "Hi, remember me?" I'm not gonna say her last name, but her first name is Kelly. And I was like, "Yeah, I remember you." And she was like, "Oh my God, have you talked to Tommy?" I was like, "You need to let it go. Like, he hasn't boned you in 20 years. That ain't gonna happen. Like, trust me." And he's in jail. "Oh my God. What did he do? Was it drunk driving?" I was like, "No, he killed his girlfriend, threw her in a river." And then she was like, "Oh." I was like, "It might have been during sex." And she was like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah, aren't you glad you dodged that bullet?" And she was just like, "Oh my God. Oh my God, you know the way." Yeah, I know everybody's boned. Let's not go there. I also know that your building has video footage of it. So it's like, I mean, yo, that's why people in this town can't know that I do this because I know so many secrets. They'd come after me with a vengeance. Threaten me not to say anything and remind me of a story that I forgot, which of course then I'd get on air and immediately tell you because don't tell me what to do. Uh, but yeah, no, he's real crime story famous. I know I'm jumping around. I never pulled the man whore thing. Count my women on one hand. There's so many jokes there. I can't. 357. I can't. You can count your women on one hand, huh? Did you name the hands? Are you ambidextrous, 357? Because I know a lot of dudes that only write with one hand, but they can drive with both, especially stick. Yeah, no, he's a man whore. Like he literally would do like 3 girls a day. And I used to just look at him and go, how is it not fucking just giving up? I was like, I know God gave you no brains, but apparently he gave you tons of testosterone. What the hell? Like, and his brothers are not like that. Like, he's got one really geeky brother who's like married to this paraplegic girl who you want to feel bad for her, but she's such a see you next Tuesday that you're like, fuck that bitch. He's got the other one who abandoned his entire like family because he married a Jewish girl and she didn't like his family, and rightfully so. And he's separated from his family to build a family with her. That's fine, whatever. He's got the other one whose nose is kind of bent. You know, he's a little connected. And then you got the other one that's just this big, gompy, like, hi guys, kind of sweet giant of a dude. And it's just, and then you got Tommy, who has no brains, dumber than a box of rocks. And I mean, dumb, like dumb. Again, another one who wouldn't have passed high school if I didn't fucking help him. And when I say help, I mean do all his work in like the last week of school so that the teachers were like, yes, we just want to pass him. Like, here, you do it. It was like, great. Like the teachers knew that I was doing his work. I actually showed up for one of his exams. So it was like, graduated high school though. And he went to trade school, which was good. You know, he learned how to be an electrician, a refrigerator and AC and heating repairman, and he made good money doing that. Then he moved to Florida and became a landscaper. Like he's a not just a landscaper, but he mostly does well, now he ain't doing shit. But he did have his own business. He had a tree cutting business. And he made really good money. And he would come up here for like 2 weeks and he'd spend 2 weeks here. You know, he came up once for 2 weeks with his 2 kids. He was divorced. He brought his 2 kids. One was his biological kid. The other one he adopted. And he stayed with me and Connor and Katie, and the kids hung out. We went to, you know, Liberty State Park, and we went to all the different, you know, like kiddie parks around here. We went to the movies. We were all over the place. And then we got hit with like this gigantic freaking snowstorm, and we made the most of like 4 days being trapped inside. We had a great time. Granted, he went and found my ex-boyfriend and made sure to tell him that he was staying here, and very specifically what was going on while he was staying here, which my ex really didn't appreciate. I'm good, because when he told me, I giggled. I was like, oh, you hurt his feelings. There's been a rivalry between those two literally for 30 years. I don't get it. I don't get it. But it is what it is. I lost my whole train of thought. But yeah, no, he was a man whore. Literally, like he would meet my friends and I'd go, no. He'd be like, just one of them. Nope. 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 I remember asking him about Vicky. I was like, would you do Vicky? No. He was like, I was like, oh my God, I found a girl you wouldn't screw. He was like, yeah, no. He was like, she's not my type. He's like, I might do it just for the fun of it, just to say I did it. He was like, but then I'd have to like, you know, wash my brain out. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, all right. But like, we never had those problems. We were always just, I don't know. We were very affectionate all the time. I mean, I'm an affectionate person. I'm very tactile. And he tends to be the same way. So he's one of those dudes that if you touch his shoulder to get his attention, he's up and ready. And you want to go now? You want to go now? It's like, God damn it. All I did was breathe. And he's like, yeah, but it's the way you do. Oh, shut up. Like, I can't because he's so full of shit. He's so full of shit. But he makes me laugh. He always made me laugh. That was the thing. Like, whenever we went out, we could go out and just have a beer and play a game of, a pool. And I would be laughing for like 4 hours. And he always used to say the same thing. God, you're not like any other woman I've ever known. That was like the last 10 years. It used to be, you're not like any girl I've ever known. And then I had 2 kids and he was like, now you're a woman. I was like, now I'm a woman. I wasn't a woman before. He was like, no, you were. He was like, but you were always like my girl. I was like, I was never your girl. He was like, you know what I mean. I was like, I know what you said. I don't know what you meant. He was like, you'll always be my girl. No, I really won't. No, I really won't. I really won't. Never was, never will be. I'm very particular about that. About people calling me their girl. Don't ever. Unless I am, don't. Because when I grew up, that meant something. Somebody calling you their girl, that they claimed you. They told everybody, that's mine. That's my girl. You don't get to touch that. You don't get to look at her a certain way. You don't get to talk to her a certain way. You respect that that's my girl. And he knows that. So when he uses that, it's an emotional manipulation. And he knows he's going to aggravate me when he says it. He's like, you're my girl. I'm like, I am not your anything. Nothing. I'm your friend. He's like, you keep saying that, but I don't believe. No, trust me. You can believe me. I've never lied to you. Like, I'm not the liar in this relationship. You are. You're the liar, not me. And yet part of me misses him because he was in my life for 30 plus years. Shelly says, well, I prayed about it and God thinks our relationship isn't a good thing. I hope you had the best in life. No, see, I can't even like use God against him because no matter what I say, he's got to trump everything that I say when it comes to Jesus and God and scriptures. And I get like a letter every like 2 weeks from him. And it's just pamphlets. And he'll write, love me, and some Bible verse. But he only writes like the book that it's in and the verse and the line. He doesn't actually write the damn verse out. So I'm like, if he thinks I'm looking up, like he'll send me 5 or 6 of them in one envelope. I'm like, if he thinks I'm sitting here looking this shit up, are you fucking nuts? Like, I don't care. I don't care what you're preaching at me. Stop it. He's got this whole dream in his head that he's getting out. Oh my God. Every time my phone vibrates that I have a message, I'm like, this is me on anxiety meds. I actually took an Atarax because I was like, I can't. Like the Xanax was not going to help because I was way beyond that. And I took the Atarax hoping it would knock me out, and I'm still awake. I took it like, 5 hours ago? 4 hours ago? No, about 5 hours ago. Yeah, no, I'm still awake. So that's obviously not working. I drank tea, decaffeinated tea. Nope. All it made me have to do was pee. I tried eating breakfast. I was like, maybe if I have something in my stomach. Nope, I'm awake. Wolfram, hi, honey. How are you? I know I'm behind in chat. Surprised. I'm surprised. Are you surprised? I'm very surprised. Thank you, honey, for dropping all those links. Yeah, check out Maddie's mixtape. Love it. I'm just trying to catch up. Yes, if you enjoy road trips, go with T-Rex. Jersey Shore Mania. I mean, what's not funny? Andrea Paxa. Hey, Andrew, what's up? Long time no see. Somebody's looking for you, Maddie. Clumsy's looking for you, Maddie, in case you missed the message. 357, he was an arborist. I mean, he does, believe me, he calls himself a tree cutter. That's what he is. Because if you asked him, I've told you he's dumb. He don't know what an arborist is. He'd be like, I never robbed anybody. Like, that would be his answer. Trust me, I know how stupid he is. That's why when they said this was premeditated, I was like, what? I said, there's no way he planned on killing her. He can't plan a trip from one corner to the next. Are you kidding me? I've known this kid his entire life. I've been friends with him 30 fucking years. Like, there's no goddamn way. He's dumber than a box of rocks. And he's completely hyper. I mean, you want a poster child for like extreme ADHD? He's it. Oh, Lord. Just watching him makes you tired. He's that draining. Like, it's just like, oh my God, would you sit the fuck down? God, he used to make me crazy. He'd be like, come on. Oh my God. What is wrong with you? And he'd be like, oh, well, let's go here. We'd get to my car. He'd be like, let me drive. No. 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 He's one of those people, one of like 3 people in my entire life that I share a very strong, I want to say almost like psychic connection with, but somebody that I'm very connected to. And it was senior year. I was dead asleep. And it was like 3 a.m. And I jumped up out of my dead sleep, because back then I used to be able to sleep for like 10 hours straight. And I yelled his name. And then the phone rang. And all he said, the phone rang like 2 minutes after I did that. And he said, You there? I know it's late. I'm sorry, but I'm okay. And I was like, what happened? He was like, I flipped the Chevelle. I was like, what? He was like, not the Chevelle, the Chevette. He had won the Chevelle. He crashed into a fucking wall, but the Chevette, he flipped over the median on Route 3. And yeah, so he was like, I'm fine. Carrie's fine. I was like, I don't give a fuck about Carrie. Carrie who? Carrie Sack? And she was like, yeah. He was like, what? I was like, what the fuck you doing with her? And he was like, oh, that's right. You guys are friends. I was like, yeah. And he was like, good friends? I was like, oh God, she's been around more than you. Like, don't do it. Like, don't do that. Like, and she's crazy. So no. And her brother's a psycho. So let's not go there. And he was like, yeah, too late. But that luckily that didn't last very long. But yeah, he flipped his car over and I knew, and I woke up. And he called me because he knew that I would feel the spike of panic. And I was like, all right, as long as you're okay. I was like, you're sure you're okay? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I'll be in school tomorrow. I was like, what? Okay. And he did it. He showed up with flowers because he was like, I'm sorry you lost sleep because of me. I was like, oh, whatever. He was always doing very sweet things for me. He was the beginning of me learning what it was like to be treated, I don't know, like in a gentlemanly way. I mean, trust me, we got freaky as hell, but he was always sweet to me. Like, he would, always take me out and he'd be like, let's go bowling. All right. And we'd go out, and it wasn't a date, but yet he always paid. He wouldn't let me pay. He wouldn't let me pay for beers. He wouldn't he was like, I swear to God, if you even touch your back pocket, because I used to keep my money in my back pocket. And he was like, don't do it. He was like, you're not paying. Like, stop it. I'm like, fine, whatever. If he drove anywhere, like if I drove him somewhere, and he liked to drive, but I mean, it was very rare. He had to be like extremely sober for me to let him drive my car. And I had to be in it because I knew he'd behave. But he always filled the tank every single time. Never failed. Like, he was a hard worker. I mean, he worked, he made a lot of money, over his lifetime or whatever. But he always had fun. He always had fun. Tommy was the good time boy. Like, if you wanted to throw an amazing party and like have it like really raise the roof, you invited Tommy. If you wanted to go out and have nothing but laughs, you told Tommy you wanted to go out and you went out with him. Like, that's just how it was. And he was the one that I would call in the middle of the night if I was upset. If, like, when my grandfather died, he was the one that came to the house at 3 a.m. Nobody else gave a shit about me. He was the one that just came and took me outside and just let me cry. And he sat against the house with me where nobody could see us, and he just held me and I cried and I fell asleep right there on the shoulder outside. He just let me nap for a while and he took me back inside, and he sat on the couch while I slept. But he wasn't leaving me. Because he knew what my family was like. He'd met my uncle and he was like, well, he's a douche. I'm like, yeah, I know. He loved my grandmother. Loved my grandmother. And she loved him. That was her Tommy Tunes. Tommy Tunes. He would stop by and take care of her when I was at school, like when I went to college. Or if I was at work. She would, if he ran into her, she'd be like, oh, how you doing? My refrigerator's not where. He'd be like, I'll come in now. Like, and he'd just pull the van over that he was driving for work and he'd go in and fix whatever. And I'd be like, you didn't have to do that. He's like, yeah, I did. He's like, it's grandma. Come on, give me a break. Like, he was really good to her. And he was really good to me. He never ever showed up without a trinket for me. His specialty were troll keychains and troll dolls. I don't know why he picked that for me. I guess because they used to make me giggle every time he gave me one. But yeah, he used to give me troll dolls every single time he saw me. I had hundreds of troll dolls. I had tons of teddy bears because that was another thing. He loved to give me little white or like the real light color tan teddy bears, and they all had little bows. He got me a big teddy bear when I left for college so that I'd have something to sleep with that I could like cuddle up to. And Christine dressed it up with like my Trenton State baseball cap, and she put a fake joint in its mouth and she put sneakers on it, and I have a picture of it somewhere. But yeah, that was Tommy Bear. Like, I slept with Tommy Bear every night. And I wouldn't let anything happen to that bear. And my ex-husband got rid of it when I was at work after we got married. Because it was with all the other stuffed animals that like Billy gave me and everything. They were stuffed animals. I had a kid. She enjoyed the stuffed animals. We're not talking about like little things. We're talking about like 4 foot high, like Doberman Pinscher, like wolf. Yes, I had a wolf. Like all these huge stuffed animals that Billy had won for me down in Wildwood. And he would bring them home. So I had like a wax rose that was absolutely gorgeous. But like, I had all my mementos, and my ex-husband truly took all that shit and went throughout town, like leaving them in bags that you couldn't see. Like, you couldn't see through the bag. So I couldn't like go past one and be like, oh, that's mine. But yeah, he distributed them at different places throughout town in garbage piles. And I came home and I was like, why does my room look so like, where's my stuff? I was like, oh my God, did you put those stuffed animals away? And he was like, nope. I was like, what'd you do with them? I threw them out. I was like, I'm going downstairs to get them. He was like, no. He was like, I figured that. He was like, you'll never find them. They're all throughout town. I was heartbroken. Oh, that hurt me so bad. I was like, you jealous fuck. Like, those don't mean what you think they mean. And it's not like you've ever given me anything to replace them. Yeah, because my ex-husband didn't even buy me one goddamn flower. I really got to stop fucking with guys who don't treat me well. I really do. Because, you know, sometimes a girl just needs a goddamn flower. Send her a goddamn cookie, something. Like, I don't care. Like, let her know that you give a shit. Tommy was good at that. Billy was good at that. Miguel sucked at it. Eddie sucked at it. My ex-husband was the worst at it. But Tommy was good at that. He was always good at making you feel like you were the only girl that mattered in that moment. That's how he got so many girls. But I mean, I knew it was a line of bullshit for most girls, but he didn't do that with me. He didn't have to. He did the little romantic things, which was like, oh, it's cute. What do you want? I feel like I just want to see you smile. It's like, I'm not sticking around. He'd stop by the house and just drop something off and be like, oh, all right. So it's so hard for me to reconcile what he was with me for 3 decades with what he did. And there's not a doubt in my mind that he did it. Do I think he meant to do it? No. I think it was an accident and he panicked. But accident or not, I can't. I can't fuck with him. An electrician, did he learn how to undo your shorts? Oh yeah. Ba-dum-bum. Yeah, he knew how to push all my buttons. Trust me. He definitely got my motor running more than once. Definitely did. I'm still friends with my ex-wife's new man, adulting 101. Yeah, well, sometimes you like the ex's new people more than you like the ex. You kind of want to take them on the side and go, oh, you're such a nice person. Run as fast as you can. It's not me. I'm the gingerbread man. But yeah, no. Heart Andrew Paxa, I got in very late, bad work night. Oh, honey, I'm sorry about that. Fighting words, no touching me. I'm on edge. Yeah, no. Talking about my girl. Yeah, listen, you calling me your girl is like really important and it fucking melts me. That's a Jersey thing. Phone gives me anxiety too. I hate my phone. I hate it, hate it, hate it. Shelly has a 30-minute chat buffer. Sure do. It's only 13 minutes right now. See how that works? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Return to sender. Off with that crazy. Wonder if the post has a way to not get mail from stalkers. I mean, he's sending it from jail. So you think they would notice that he's sending these out, every 2 weeks and not getting shit in return. Because I don't write him for nothing. No. Cease and desist. I don't know. Hey, Amber, how are you? Good, Em. We're just talking about my neuroses because I have, Tommy's I just can't. Back when real cars existed, Chevelles. Yeah, I used to love his Chevelle. That was a comfortable ride. It had like the bench seat in the front. It was great. What are we reading? We're reading my text message from the state prison system in Volusia County. Letting me know that he's been transferred to county jail again for court. It's like, oh, like I really, 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 really can't wait for that text that says he's back in Florida State Correctional Custody, because just the thought of him getting out makes like, oh my God, my stomach shot today, just so y'all know, because I can't deal with the nerves. And I didn't say anything last night because I just didn't want to interrupt what we were doing, and I just didn't want to talk about it. So I was like, don't freak out. You'll be fine. Don't freak out. This morning's though, of course, that freaked me out. I mean, I was freaked out last night, but not enough to share. But this morning, I was like, just take an hour, go, just do a pop up, talk to people. You're fine. And this way, it's public knowledge. If anybody wonders, like if I disappear, you know what happened. I wouldn't go down without a fight anyway. I'm not going to go down, period. Let me rephrase that because that was bad phrasing. By the way, hi, Gutter. How you doing, honey? Fun is key. Yeah, and he had the key. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets my digits right. 357. Aw. I've always called you that. I've returned. Welcome back, T-Rex. Welcome to my living nightmare. I don't know. I just want these people to just go away. Go away. And I'm sure my mother would be like, well, what do you have the alerts on for? If you don't have the alerts on, you won't know what he's doing. No, I need to know if he's walking around because he doesn't call before he shows up. He just knocks on the damn door. And he don't give a fuck what time it is either. When I was pregnant with Connor, see, I have this thing when I'm pregnant, I don't tell him. I let him find out on his own. And when I was pregnant with Connor, I didn't tell him. I was 6 months along. And my bell rings at it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like, who the fuck? And I went over real aggro. I was like, who is it? And he was like, don't talk to me like that. He was like, it's me. I'm going to McDonald's for breakfast. What do you want? I was like, aren't you supposed to be in Florida? And he was like, what do you want? And I gave him this whole list of shit that I wanted. And he was like, wow. Oh, all right. You got it. Yeah, you're eating. And he went and he got it and he brought it back. Because usually he would say, well, what do you want? I'd pick one thing. And he'd be like, bitch, what do you want to eat? I'm not going there for just fries. Yeah, it's not going to happen. What do you want? And I had first of all, don't tempt me with McDonald's breakfast because it's going to make me sick as could be, but it is a weakness. I love some McDonald's breakfast. The sausage patties are the shit. But he went and he got the food. He shows up and he knocks on the door and I was like, here we go. And I opened the door and he was like, hey, oh my God. I was like, surprise. He was like, that's my line. But it was he was like, you're pregnant? I was like, no, I just got real fat right in the middle. I was like, your boobs are bigger. Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. He was like, oh, you're pregnant. Damn it. I was like, you could just drop off the food and go. He was like, no, let me in. And he did. He hung out for a couple days, and he took really good care of me too, which was weird because I'd never seen him in action with a pregnant person. He was so put your feet up, give me your feet. And he's rubbing my feet. I was like, stop touching my feet. And he was like, no, come on. He was like, your feet have to hurt. He was like, can I feel him kick? And then he was so excited. He was like, oh my God, it's a boy. That's so great. And he was like, whose is it? I was like, let's not go there. And he was like, no, whose is it? He was like, because I know you're not dating somebody. You gave up on relationships. He was like, so this is surprising. And I was like, I know. He was like, it's not your ex-husband's, right? He was like, because you could just lie and put me on the birth certificate. He was down for that. He was like, yeah, he was like, just put me down. He was like, if it's your ex-husband's, just say it's mine. Fuck him. Just say it's fine. I was like, thanks, but no. I was like, no, it's not my ex-husband's. He's like, oh, thank God. And when I told him who it was, he was like, oh, God. He was like, I liked him, but what the hell happened there? I was like, it literally was a 1 in 10 year shot. He was like, Fertile Myrtle strikes again. Yeah, he's the one that nicknamed me Fertile Myrtle. But Yeah. One time he was like, was it worth it? No, it really wasn't. I was like, I'm glad about the kid. I was like, but the whole like, thing, I could have done that myself way better. He was like, yeah, I know. It was like, I've been there. I was like, I know. Um, because we used to laugh. He'd be like, "You got no problem telling me that I just did not do it for you." I'm like, "Nope," because I'd be like, "All right, you're all good. You're done." That was like an hour and a half. I'll never get back. He's like, "Oh, come on, you loved it." Yeah, I loved it, but I mean, it would have been nice to finish. You didn't finish, but you sounded like no. I'll do it now, and I just do it myself. And he would just sit there and look at me and be like, "We know each other way too well." Like, yeah, we're way too comfortable. Because that's how it's always been. He's not somebody that I ever held back from. You know, I was completely myself. I didn't have to be embarrassed about anything. I mean, trust me, he teased the shit out of me about everything in my life. Everything. Dear God. But fear him? Never. Never. I would lose my temper. I would be insane. I slashed his tires. I demolished his car that he just rebuilt. It was a soft top convertible Mustang, and he just rebuilt it, and I destroyed that car. And he showed up, and I'm standing there with the screwdriver in my hand going, "And what? Like, and what?" Like, and he was just like, "Fucking noodle." That's all he said. He was like, "It's all right, I can fix it." Like, he didn't even get mad. Anybody else, he would have beat their ass, but me? No, I get away with murder. I really shouldn't say that. I really I'm just thinking I really should. That is not a good expression to use when it comes to him. But I mean, we have this very open kind of back and forth with one another where we don't take each other too seriously. You know, we know that neither one of us wants to hurt the other. So we were always able to just say whatever we wanted. We didn't take it personally. If he said something and like it came out wrong, I'd just look at him and he'd be like, "No, no." He'd be like, "No, no, no. I know that face. I didn't mean it like that. However, you're taking it, I didn't fucking mean it like that." I'm like, "All right. How'd you mean it then?" And he'd be like, "No, well, all right, all right. But you know I'm stupid. Yes, I know you're stupid." Like, that's fine. He's like, "I don't have the honors brain." It was like, whatever. Him and Billy were always, "Oh, honor society." It was like, shut up. And yet behind my back, they'd go around telling everybody how smart I was and how proud they were because I was so smart. But to my face, they're like, "Oh, honor society. Come here, honor society. What do you want? An award? Why don't you just stay up there? You get all the awards. Oh, we get a scholarship." Like, it was just always just poke, 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 poke. They just like to see nothing I say about Tommy ever comes out without being sexual. It can always be turned into a sexual thing because that's the sense of humor I developed being friends with him because that's his sense of humor. You know, he's the one that's very like, just always off the cuff. And he would always be like, "God, you're so quick." Like your comebacks. He's like, "My brain don't work that fast." I know. I know. I know. But like even when he went to jail and this was before the Crime Story thing came out. So I was still like, you know, I was on board with the whole "I'm innocent" thing. And trust me, Christine did her best to tell me, "Shell, I'm a cop. Shell, listen to me. There's no way he didn't do it." It was like, "No, you don't get it. You don't know. I don't want to know him. I don't want you to know him." She was like, "Stay away from him." They waited until they had all the evidence to go arrest him. They waited months. And he was convicted in 2 hours. He did it. Like, stay away. I was like, "No, they didn't give him a chance." And then that crime started. Even after he got convicted, I didn't believe it. I didn't. Wolfkind said, hey, Shelly, damn, now I want a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit and hash browns. Bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit with sausage on the side, so you could throw the sausage in there too. And hash browns with a nice cold orange juice and an apple pie. Maybe flapjacks if you get a stack of pancakes, if they remember to give you the butter and the syrup. That's what he used to like pick up for breakfast and bring. I ordered it once and I didn't even get the flapjacks. I just ordered like 2 bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits with 2 side orders of sausage and 2 hash browns because I was eating for 2. And I was fucking hungry and I knew he was here. I was going to be awake. So it was like, might as well. And after that, he would just show up with that kind of thing. It was like, oh man, like I can't eat. Like you have one. He loved my cooking. Every time he came here, he'd be like, oh, this is the best place. I'm like, I'm glad you like it. He'd be like, no, you cook for me. He was like, nobody cooks for me. He was like, my own mother didn't cook for me. He was like, and you just, you just make the stuff that you guys like. He was like, it's so good. I'm like, I know. He goes, I like being here. And he did. He enjoyed being here. He felt like he had a home when he was here. And he always said that. He always said, wherever you're at, that's my home. And it was like, uh-huh. And I mean, I was young enough that it didn't really hit me like till I was in my 40s and he was still saying it. And I remember when he got arrested, he called me. It was after like I'd sent him a letter because one of my friends sent me a text that said, did you see this? Like, I can't believe this. And she sends me the article from like a Sentinel or something in Daytona Beach. It was like the Volusius Sentinel or some shit like that. Saying that he was arrested for killing his girlfriend. And I was in shock. I spent the whole day in a huge panic attack, hysterical crying, and then going catatonic. And Marty didn't know what the fuck to do. And I couldn't talk. So I just like handed him my phone and he looked down. Now he grew up with Tommy. Our town is really small. We were all within a year of each other in school. Tommy was in my year because he got left back twice. He got left back in kindergarten. That's how dumb he is. But yeah, no, it was bad. And I mean, as soon as he looked at the phone, he was like, oh my God, Shell, I'm so sorry. And I was just like, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And it was just like, he didn't do it. There's no way. There's no way. I freaked out that whole day. And I sent him a letter. And I swear to God, 2 days later, I got a collect phone call from the jail. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so glad it's you. I'm so sorry I haven't talked to you in like a year. I was like, yeah, well, now I figured out why. He was like, yeah, like she was really not like, she was very jealous. There's no way I could have talked to you. And, I really didn't want you to, to know that I was with her. He was like, because she was the fucking head case. He was like, she was a drug addict and, she was crazy. He was like, trust me, there's plenty of records where I tried to have her arrested because she busted a dish against my face. And I was like, what the fuck did you do? And he was just like, I didn't do it. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, so what do we do now? Like, I just needed a game plan. So he gave me like a list of people to call and like whatever. And I did like all the legwork because he couldn't do it from in there. I talked to his mother, just the whole thing. I was there for him for everything. So when he got convicted, I was devastated. It happened on field day in school. And I don't even remember that field day. I know they said I cried a whole bunch. I was just standing there cheering the kids on with just tears rolling down my cheeks because I couldn't stop crying. And then when they sentenced him, he passed out. Actually, when they rendered the verdict, he passed out, I believe. Yeah, if I'm remembering it correctly. It's all foggy back then because I was walking around in a stupor for days. So it was just, I couldn't believe it. It was like my whole world was falling apart. I mean, this was the one man that I like trusted completely. You know, I slept next to him so many times. I don't sleep next to people. I don't trust anybody. So I don't sleep next to people. So if I fall asleep in your presence, it means that I feel protected. I feel safe. Even if it's just on the phone. Like I don't, unless I'm heavily medicated, I'm not going to fall asleep in your presence. I fall asleep on Winning all the time. I'm laying there, he's talking, I could be in the middle of a sentence and I'm just, all of a sudden he's like, Charlie. I'm like, what? And he's like, you were asleep. Oh, damn. Was I? I'm sorry. Because I relax so much that I just conk right out. And I know this is a shit stream and I'm rambling, but I'm going on no sleep or like an hour and a half sleep. And my nerves are shot. So it is what it is. I know, T-Rex. I know. But it's so weird not to talk to him. But I remember he was like, when he was here the last time, he kept saying, why didn't we get married? I was like, you want a list? And he was like, yeah. He was like, why did I said, first of all, we're not in love with one another. He was like, that's not true. I was like, dude, I was never in love with you. And he was like, yeah, no, I know. He was like, no, I was in love with you though. You were not. And he was like, yeah, I was. I was like, you were banging every woman in town. And he was like, that didn't mean I loved you any less. He was like, it's just, I'm that person. I was like, yeah, which is why I never let myself fall for you ever. He's like, oh, you can't control it. Yes, you can. Like, I can turn that shit off. Boom. Like, nope, not doing it. I was like, but I gave you all my friendship. I was like, you had me completely in that regard. And he was like, I know. I was like, but you never said that you had feelings for me either. And he was like, well, because I knew you didn't have feelings for me. It was like, I wasn't going to go shoot myself in the foot. He was like, and then you'd act all weird with me. And it was just like, but he liked the relationship that we had. I liked the relationship that we had. We didn't have sex every time we saw one another. Like we used to just go for walks. We'd take the kids out. We'd, go for beer, go play pool, go bowling, go to a movie. Like we were always very coupley because we're both very tactile, affectionate people. So we were always like, clinging to one another in a way. Like they're always holding hands or whatever. That's a big thing for me. You hold my hand, I'll follow you anywhere. Like that is probably the most romantic thing I think a guy can do to a girl is just reach out and just hold her hand for no fucking reason. Y'all don't know the effect you have when you do that kind of stuff. It matters. It does. And he would do that and I'd get all like, I'd blush and he'd be like, oh my God. He was like, all the things that we've ever done and you can still blush. Like, I know. He was like, oh, you're so cute. But yeah, he was like, we should get married. I was like, you bring this up every like couple of years and I always tell you no. How many different ways do you want me to like say, no, I'm never going to marry you? He's like, well, someday you'll change your mind. No. And then when he went to jail, he was like, when I get out of here, this was before the conviction. He's like, when I get out of here, he was like, we're going to get married and we're going to this. And he's just going on and on and on about we're going to buy a house because, people owe me money because they stole from me once I whatever. He was like, and I have a good job. He was like, my business, I'll go right back to the business. And he was like, I'll have money in no time, then I'll send for you and the kids. And he's going on and on and on. And I was like, I said, I know like this is happening in your head, but it's not going to happen in real life. He was like, just work with me. I was all right. And he's going on and on about all these different things we're going to do. And he was like, what kind of house do you want? I said, well, we definitely can't live on the water. And he was like, really? I was like, I'm just saying. I was like, what's the matter? Too soon? He was like, too soon, Michelle. It was too soon, but he was laughing. He was like, too soon, Michelle, too soon. But I used to give him such shit about that. Because he'd be talking about, we'd have a great life together. I'm like, yeah. I don't know that I'd sleep well anymore. Like, shut up. Like, I don't know, Tom. If you get a little rough, I'll be like, hey, remember, I'm not her. Like, stop. He was like, you fucking bitch. I was like, I don't know. But that was our relationship. That was our friendship. Like, he would call me up and just be like, guess what I just did? This is before he went to jail. I'd be like, I can't even guess. Oh my God, I got hired for a party. Oh my God, as what? As a waiter. Were you naked? I had to wear a cup with the G-string. It's like, oh my God. This is shit he used to do just for fun. He didn't do it for the money. He got paid well, but he would just do shit for no reason. He was like, those ladies, man. He goes, old ladies in Florida like you in a G-string. And I'm like, what color was it? It was black satin. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, this one had diamonds and this little bow at the top. I'm like, that's great. I bet you were so pretty. And he was like, I work out. Mm-hmm. It was like, whatever. And I mean, he didn't have a great body. He was born with a dad body. He was muscular. Don't get me wrong. He was strong. Good God. His main thing, he used to pick me up and put me over his shoulders, but not the way you would think to put somebody on your shoulders. He would pick me up, put me over, he'd pick me up so that I was horizontal, side to side, and put me over his head on the nape of his neck and wrap me over his shoulders. And I'd just be sitting there I'm wrapped around his head, literally looking at him going, what is your fucking problem? Put me down. And he'd be like, no. He'd be like, I like you there. Oh, whatever. He used to carry me all the time whenever we went somewhere. He'd be like, on my back. All right. As long as I don't have to walk, we're good. I'd jump on his back. We'd go anywhere. I fell asleep at the beach once. I was with him and he literally picked me up by my fucking ankle and my hand, by my wrist and my ankle, and did the airplane thing in circles and let me go into the water. I was livid. I screamed the whole fucking time. And he thought it was so funny. We got into a fight the night of prom because he brought his ex-girlfriend and I was with another dude because he was with his ex-girlfriend because he had already asked her. And then they broke up and he felt bad that she bought a dress and everything. She showed up looking like Miss Piggy. I can't. Deanna. Fucking, I hated that girl. God, I hated that girl. Because she walked in with the pink satin, form-fitting, strapless gown that only went to her knees and then it poofed out a little bit. But it was shirred, so it was gathered all from top to bottom. And she had on opera gloves, white satin opera gloves. And she walked in, she's blonde. Her hair was piled in this big, bouffant kind of French twist thing. Her makeup she even had the blue eyeliner, the blue eyeshadow. And she walked in with him and I was like, he goes, don't do it. I was like, what'd you say, Kermit? He was like, fucking bitch. And I was like, She looks like Miss Piggy. And I said it right in front of her. I didn't give a fuck. I was so mean in high school. God, I was dressed in a red floor length gown that hugged every curve I had, and I knew I was pretty. And she walked in, and I was like, I made jokes about her the whole night. The whole night. And he dropped her ass off at her house and came back to the high school when the bus dropped me off, and because we all had to go back to the gym and have our second prom. And we went down the shore. And he picked me up and we went down the shore and we got into a fight when we got down there. When I say we, I mean me, because I was in a mood and he like, I don't know, he wanted to do something and he like looked at some girl who's flirting like with some girl and I was feeling all in my feelings that night. And I got into like this big thing with him and he was like, well, you're stuck here. I was like, I don't have to fucking stay anywhere. And I saw my friend Jerry and I was like, are you staying down here? He was like, no, we're actually like, I'm going home. I was like, good, take me home. And he was like, yeah, all right. So that was another 3.5 hour fucking trip home. And he was like, you're really going to leave me? I'm really going to leave you. He was like, God damn it, Michelle. All right, I'll see you Monday. Like, he ain't give a fuck. Like, he just rolled with the punches. God, I got stories for days about him. He'll still tell you his favorite outfit of mine was when I would wear the white tank top with the black blazer and my jeans, tight jeans with boots. That was his favorite outfit that I would wear. Got to figure this was 1992. Very in style. And we went out one night. I had just gotten the blazer. And he was like, you look really good. And it starts to rain. So when it starts to rain, what do? You walk in the rain. So we held hands. We ran around in the rain. We get back to my house and he's hysterical because everything is black. Because the dye, because you don't wash a blazer when you buy it, you just wear it. All the dye from the friggin' thing came out with the rain. My white tank top was just white and black all over, just streaky all over. My jeans had dye on them. My skin was dyed black. He was like, you look like a cookie. I was like, thanks. He was like, that's all right. We'll get those off you. I was like, yeah, right. I'm going inside and changing my clothes. I'll be out in a minute. But yeah, we had a good time. We always had a good time. I don't ever remember not laughing with him. Even when somebody died, he would somehow get me to the point where I was laughing. And I miss that. But I don't miss it enough to want to see him ever again in my life. I'm afraid of him now. Now, he didn't hurt me, but that day that he yelled at me, he'd never done that before. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, he thinks I'm his. And he can just tell me what to do and yell at me or whatever. So as long as we were just friends and fuck buddies, it was all respect all the time. But as soon as he put it in his head that I belonged to him, the real him came out. The possessive side came out. And I didn't like it. Because it was night and day. And in the blink of an eye, he flipped so fast that I really was like looking at the phone like, who am I talking to? Like, he did not just talk to me like that. Like, and I blasted him too. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Because you don't want to push my guinea. Pushing the Jersey thing is one thing. Pushing the guinea is another. And I went full guinea girl on him. And he knew too, but it didn't matter. He wasn't backing down. That's when, the emails and everything else started. But yeah, no. I'm terrified that he'll win. Because we used to think he was like Teflon. Nothing ever stuck to him. He'd have 50 fucking tickets and they'd be like, you're going to jail. And no, he'd pay for like 10 of the tickets, get 40 of them thrown out. And be like, he'd come by like, you want to go out to dinner? I thought you were going to jail. What happened? they said you were gonna get like 3 months. Yeah, no. Like I got rid of that shit. Nothing ever stuck to him. So I have reason to, be nervous because he's just got that kind of that luck. And the world is so upside down at this point. I don't see why they don't let him out because they're letting everybody else free. Why not him? Hey, Shelly, is that one lawyer the one still handling the appeal? Yes. And I really hope it goes badly. Like, I hope he does not win the appeal at all. I fucking sliced my right toe on my right foot open with the food processor blade last night. It really fucking hurts. Okay, first you say fucking and now you say fucking, all in the same text. I don't understand you. I could use a beer right now, not gonna lie. No. I'm sorry, honey. Make sure you don't get an infection. Get some bacitracin and get some betadine. Betadine is like $2 for a whole container of it. It's that brown liquid. It works way better than any kind of peroxide. Peroxide is just gonna eat away at whatever's going on. Use the betadine and then put some bacitracin on it and use a butterfly to close it and then cover it with the Band-Aid. If you can get the silicone foam Band-Aids, that's better. This way you keep it, moist. You don't want it to, because the betadine is going to dry it out. You don't want it to get too dried out because then it won't heal correctly. But get one of those the silicone bandages and just wrap it around. I'm sorry, honey, but please be careful. Make sure. I'm not even going to ask how you cut your toe on a food processor blade because trust me, I've done similar. So I know it happens. It wasn't my foot, but those blades are really freaking sharp. How the hell was your foot in the food processor? Hey, Inya. Hey, Allie. Ellie Fun said, girl, stop romanticizing your relationship with this killer. He's capable of offing you. I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying we had a great history as far as like the things that we did went, and then he just flipped. But no, you see the text message that I have up on the screen? Like, that's freaking me out. Because I know he's getting his appeal verdict today. And I really, 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 I don't want to be that person who wishes him to stay in jail forever because he's my friend and I love him. But the amount of shit that's going to fall in my lap if he gets out is ridiculous. Because he won't let that go. He won't. He has it in his head that he will start a ministry with me as his wife. And I'm like, Like, even if he gives up on the whole ministry thing, he's laser focused on the whole, you'd make an amazing wife. You're going to be my, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I've already been somebody's wife. I'm not doing it again. Do you know how extraordinary somebody would have to be to get me to marry them? Nope. No. I just don't want him showing up because I can't exactly run away from him right now. And your words, the blade ended up on the ground somehow, but at least it was me and not the doggo. That's true. Because you can take care of yourself. Doggos have to go to the vet, and that's a lot of money. Ouch, T-Rex. Sorry, I watched the Flintstones last night, and the image in my head of your foot dangling. Oh, Lord. Over the food processor was too much. I hope it heals up quickly. Good God. the food processor in the Flintstones would have been a baby T. That's true. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh, let me stop sharing this shit. Anyway, I forgot it was up there. Even though I pointed to it twice. I told you I haven't slept. I only slept that like hour and a half. I'm exhausted. And my brain it hasn't stopped. The guilt is real. The guilt is real. Because I want to be the better person. And yet there's that survival instinct that says, no, run. Like, like hope that he goes away forever. I talked about it with my mother. I was like, I don't think that, he would ever hurt me. And she was like, mm-hmm. She was like, I didn't think he would ever commit murder. She was like, but there you go. I was like, yeah, well. She's like, and it's not like he killed a guy. It's not like he killed a guy in a fight. It's not like it was an accident. Like, he got into his car drunk or whatever. She was like, they were on a goddamn boat. Just the two of them. I know. He beat her up. I know. They had sex right before she died. I know. She was like, how do you think? I said, I think he probably was choking her out while they were having sex and she stopped breathing and he didn't notice. And then he panicked and threw her in the river. And then made his 911 call. And she was like, oh. I said, because idiot was calling her on the phone during the 911 call and saying that he threw the keys in the thing or she threw the keys in the river. Like it was a whole big freaking story. And you can hear him trying to start the damn boat. I was like, so I don't think he was operating, on all 8 cylinders. And she was like, yeah, no, I don't think so either. She's like, but yeah, like, I don't think he would hurt you, but I don't think he would hurt her either. I know. She's like, you never think they're going to hurt you until they do. And once they do it once, they don't stop. I know, Ma. I know. She's like, yeah, that's the kind of man you attract. It's always my fault. You notice? With my mother, always my fault. He's a killer. It's my fault because that's what I attract. Well, he wasn't a killer for the 30 freaking years I was friends with him. And then he became one. Is that my fault too? Because I wasn't even in the fucking state. Like we weren't even on the same goddamn lake. We were on the same coastline. Is that my fault? Is that my fault? You didn't keep in touch. I called him once. I only call you once. If you don't call me back, I ain't calling you again. I don't give a fuck who you are. And he was just like, she was like, yeah, well, I feel like if you guys were better friends, he would have told you he was with her. No, he was concealing it because he knew I'd be like, what are you doing? This is not good. Like, I would have told him straight out, she's toxic for you. Like, this is not going to end well. I've done that before with girls where I've met all his girlfriends. Hell, he brought his wife to my job. Just showed up at my job. My mother calls me because my mother was a receptionist, and she's like, you have a visitor. Okay. Who is it? I thought it was like, my husband or something. And she was like, it's Tommy. Oh, I was like, all right. She was like, and his wife. I was like, and his what? And I'm sorry. What'd you say one more time? I'll be right there. And she was like, okay. She was giddy to see me coming because she was just waiting for the explosion. And his wife did not like me at all. Alicia was her name. And she looked me up and down and went, and I was like, I tried being all nice and everything. And I was like, yeah, I fucked him first. He's mine. I'll take him back anytime I want him. And she was just like, and she looked at him and he was like, yeah. I was like, just remember that. I was like, you'll get divorced. It's like, that don't bother me. Like, I'll wait, bitch. Like, trust me. There's no way. He got engaged to this girl, Emma, in his parents' apartment on New Year's Eve, and when it hit midnight. And I happened to be in the apartment across the way from him with my boyfriend at the time, Billy. And everybody's watching, and I'm looking. I'm all teary eyed because I'm so happy for him. And this jerk that I'm with thinks I'm like, he's like, oh, he's engaged now. He's gonna be somebody else's problem. He's gonna be married. I was like, engaged ain't married, and ain't married, and then there's always divorce. And he was just like, he just looked at me. I was like, I don't care. I'm happy for him. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. You're jealous. Okay, whatever gets you through the day. Like, whatever. I didn't argue with Billy because there was no arguing with him. You ever have that person in your life who just, they always have to fucking be right? And even if they're not right, you're still wrong. He was that person. It took me like a year to figure that out. That seems to be my threshold. A year, when like the rose-colored glasses come off and I start going, oh. Because that's when people's like true nature starts coming out and it builds up. And then one day you're just like, oh, you're so not what I thought you were. But still, I love them, so I stuck around. That's me. Hope springs eternal. I apologize for this stream, but it's appropriately named This Sucks. And this does suck because all I'm doing is sitting here stressing. That's all I'm doing. That guy you knew, he's gone. Best advice, more than the guy you knew. You deserve better. Thank you, Ellie. I mean, it's very good advice, and that's what I plan on doing, but it doesn't stop me from freaking out until they, send me the text that he's going back to the Florida State Prison. Because that's the only text I'm looking for today. That's all I want. It's the only information I fucking want. Just deny the shit and send them back and do the world a favor. Because if he did it once, he's capable of doing it again. Okay, I can hear the stream now. Was on a call. Oh, honey. Okay. That visual. The visual of him with the food processor. I know. Our T-Rex. Toes don't go in kitchen appliances. T-Rex. Hey, nerd. My ex is in prison and sent me a letter. I've been encouraging my daughter a little bit, but she has her reasons to keep him at a distance. And that makes me feel like crap for her. I know. Because you're like, they're not all bad. Like, I can't just, I have such a hard time seeing him as a bad guy. I really do. Grandma used to say it all the time. She'd be like, you know what? You forgive too easy. She was like, when you care, like when you love somebody, you'll just let them do whatever the fuck they want. You'll just, all right, it's fine. They're not, it's just a phase. It's just, she goes, you make excuses for them. This from a woman who stayed married to a man who had a girlfriend for 40 years, lecturing me. A little hypocritical, I think. Oh, I haven't gotten to use it. Wait.
Hypocrisy.
Motherfucker! Oh, God damn it! Shit.
That's right. And as Nick would say,
fuck you, you weird. Go away.
These are all my Nick clips.
Stop eating beans. Bangers and mash. Beans on toast. Stop.
All I know is if Tommy's in court today, and well, obviously he is, and he's going for that appeal.
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
That's for the opposing team. Just saying. Oh my God, if I ever talk to him again, I'm going to ask him,
Why are you gay?
That'll piss him off. He's very homophobic. Good God. And I always used to tease him and be like, I think the lady doth protest too much. He'd be like, who are you talking to like that? Talking to you, yo, Banook. But that's not what I called him. But yeah, I used to tease him all the time. I'd be like, I think you're gay. He'd be like, I am not gay. No, I think you're gay. I think you're a little gay. I am not gay. A little bit. That always led to sex because, of course, he had to prove he wasn't gay, which is why I did it. I was like, And he knew it too because he'd be like, all you got to do is just say boo. And I know. But I'm the playful sort. Anywhere's to write him back because I just can't. It's not my place. No. You're removed from that and you're attached elsewhere. And yeah, don't open that door, honey. Amber said, is he violent during sex? That would be terrible if it was an accident and he freaked. The Miss Piggy visual. She really did look like Miss Piggy. I swear to God. She had the French twist thing in the back with the big bouffant kind of bangs because it was Aquanet, was the thing at the time. And right down to the pink lipstick and the blue eyeshadow. Oh my God, it was terrible. And he right away was like, don't you dare. Every time I looked at her that night, I laughed. Girl, I was mean. I was a mean girl. But he let me. So I mean, if you let me, I'll just run a roughshod all over you. But he was never violent during sex. He was the one who he took months and months and months of reintegrating touch into my life after I had gone through everything I went through. I didn't have sex with any man after I was raped. And it took me a long time. And then he had asked me how long it had been, and I told him how long it had been, and he was like, "No, we're doing it tonight." But he worked his way up to it. I mean, he would do weird stuff. He would use the Donald Duck voice if he saw me getting too tense. He would do that just to jolt me, and I just to shock me, and I just like, what is wrong with you? Who does that? But it would make me laugh because it was so absurd to be doing it. He'd do weird things to get me out of my head. He was good at it. He started very slow and he was very patient with me. He was very observant of every mood I was ever in. He could call me now, and if I'm not in a good place, I could sound perfectly fine. And yet he would be like, "What's the matter? What's going on? Why are you upset? Are you scared? What are you scared of? Is somebody bothering you?" He would hear it, whether anybody else could hear it or not. We were that in tune all the time. And I mean, we talked all the time. We were in high school. What else did we have to do? We didn't have cell phones. So it was he'd just show up at the house and we'd sit on the stoop for 9 hours and just hold hands and play cards and just talk shit the whole time. And I never felt the need to hold back from him. Ever. He knew all the things I was ashamed of. He knew all the things that hurt me. He didn't know specifics from my childhood, but he knew Carlos and on. And he's the one that actually saw Carlos hit me on the avenue and beat the fuck out of him. He literally beat him to a goddamn pulp. And that was before we were ever anything. We'd gone on one movie date and he kissed my cheek and that was it. And it was just all right. We just were becoming friends, but he couldn't take it. He couldn't take somebody hitting me. Like he lost his mind when he saw him hit me. And he beat the shit out of him. And he was like, I swear to God, he will never lay a hand on you again. And he never did. He never did. Tommy made sure of that. But he was the one who he was like, all right, like we'll work on this. And we did. And he would say, tell me if you're uncomfortable. Tell me if you don't like this. And he turned everything into a joke. So he made me very playful. You know, I'd never had that before. I never had playfulness when it came to like intimate situations. It was always very tense for me because I was terrified. Or I was seducing somebody, so I wasn't like in a receiving kind of mood. But the last time that I was with him, he put his hand on my throat and squeezed, and I stopped and just looked at, and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Oh, can I not do that? I've never done that before. Like, you don't like that? Like, it's a bit." I was like, first of all, warn a bitch. I was like, second of all, don't squeeze. And he was like, okay. And like, he just kept his hand on my throat, but he got uncomfortable after like a couple seconds. And then he was like, just regular. He was like, let's just have fun. I was like, all right, like, if you're going to introduce something, like, can you just warn me first so I'm prepared? Cause that kind of threw me. But I knew he wasn't going to hurt me. I wasn't worried he was going to hurt me. I was just like, where'd that come from? Like 30 years, you never tried that? And now, like, now you're going to introduce that? And then I find out literally a year later because he met her as soon as he went back to Florida after he left here. And yeah, they had started right away. And I was like, oh, he's not. I figured he wasn't talking to me because he was mad because, like, you know, he asked me to be with him and I said no. So it was just like, he'll get over it. But then when he missed my birthday, I was like, oh, something's not right. Like, but I wasn't going to be the one. I gave in once and called him and he didn't return my phone call. I was like, no, I'm done. If we talk about horny things, Shell will at least get giggly and go squirrely on us, which will distract her from the shitty stuff. I mean, it's still shitty stuff, but it has to do with him. I had a friend who shot his girlfriend on accident. She lived, but he freaked and fled because the courts don't really care about accidents. That's true. That is true. Ellie said, I don't know. Nick wasn't making sense last night. I watched him for about 5 minutes and I was like, no, I'm done. I literally just clicked in to check. And then I was like, no, I'm all right. That might not even been was it last night? Yeah, because him and Monty were live at the same time. And I was like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Yeah, when I clicked in, he was very sporadic and very supercharged. And I was like, maybe it's just because he's well rested. Or maybe he's on cold meds. Not trying to excuse him. I don't know anything about him in the situation. Oh, you could look it up. Crime Story. What happened to Crystal Pfeiffer? Yep, it's on YouTube. They're 3 parts. They're 8 minutes each. And a lot of it is bullshit. There's one of her brother. He's this little white boy that's just like, oh yeah, well, I went over there and I, you know, when they got into a fight and I went and I kicked his ass and I punched him and I had him on the floor and he was begging me, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. And I was like, you lying motherfucker. First of all, there's no way he took Tommy in a fight. Even if he took him by surprise and Tommy was drunk off his ass, I have seen that boy fight. No, he is a beast when he fights. No, there is no way that little friggin' Florida shit whooped Tommy's ass. And there's absolutely no way Tommy would be like, no, man, I'm sorry, I'll never do it. Never. It would never, ever, ever, ever. I know everything that man has ever said in his life. Those words would never leave his lips. I would put money on it, and I have no money. I would put big money that he would never fucking say that. And the whole family was like, oh, yeah, we taught him a lesson, and he knew to. No, first of all, shut up. Like nobody intimidated that boy, not even his own mother. And she was woo mean. She intimidated me. And he was just like, whatever. Like he didn't give a fuck. He literally was the most gleeful, childlike person I've ever met in my life. He took nothing seriously. Nothing. Even when he was trying to be serious, it never worked out for more than like a minute. But he was a goofball. He was the class clown. He was overly hyper and he was just sweet. Yeah, he was a dick, but he was sweet. He was a sweet dick. But that's just how he was, and then I couldn't understand how somebody could even think he would do this. And then I watched the video. And I was like, oh, look, he's lying. He's lying there. Oh, that's his go-to lie. Oh, that's not good. Oh, yeah. Oh, you idiot. I was mad by the end of it. And I remember he called me that night. I was out with G. And we had gone to Red Lobster. And the phone kept ringing. And she was like, you going to answer that? Because I had it on silent. But you could see it going. I was like, no. She was like, isn't that Tommy? I was like, yeah, I'm not answering it. She was like, why? I was like, because I'm mad right now. I can't talk to him. She was like, why? So I told her about the video and she pulled it up on her phone and she's watching it. And she was like, oh, wow. He looks different than I thought he was. I was like, he's not some like Jagunda friggin' guy. She's like, well, every guy that you're with is like 6'4" or better. She's like, he's like 5'10", if that. I was like, yeah, he ain't no 5'10". He's more like 5'7". Like he's short and he's bow-legged. So it's just like he's not some physical specimen that you're gonna look at and be like, oh yeah, like that's a trophy. No, his personality and his playfulness is what always won people over. And the fact that he don't take no for an answer. Like he don't force anybody to do anything, but he will literally drive you insane until you just go, oh fuck it, fine. What do you want to do? Like whatever. Let's do it. Shut up. Stop asking me. But yeah, no, he just wasn't like that with me. Nick was on par with the unbreaded guy last night. Oh, that ain't good. I'm glad I turned it off. And you said, oi, now I have to watch Rackets. Go where the drama is. Did he go, hang on, I'll go get you a towel in Donald Duck voice? Roll my balls, keep rolling my balls. That's one of my favorite and oldest internet clips. Dear God, I think I have that on like some old ass wave file. Like, oh God. Just life makes us make unfortunate choices. Yeah, well, he chose to be with the, toxic person, and he chose to, I guess, give back whatever he was getting. And he sank to that level. He let himself go. He let himself go down that road. And I told him many times, he was like, I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. I was, that's bullshit. He was like, what? Like, I thought I was happy. I was like, if you weren't ashamed of your life, the way you were living it, you would have called me and told me what you were doing. No, wouldn't. I was like, yeah, that's real convincing. And he was like, well, I didn't think you'd, be happy with what I was doing. If I wasn't happy with what you were doing, and I've never criticized you, that tells you something about the way you were living. If you were afraid to tell me because you thought I would go nuts on you, then there's a problem, don't you think? And the problem's not with me. The problem is what you're doing. If you're ashamed to tell me, then maybe you shouldn't be doing that thing. Since you can fucking, and he's told me shit that I'm like, I didn't need to know that. I could live without that information, but thank you. He's like, what do you say? Full closure? No, full disclosure, you freaking retard. But yeah, that's Tommy. I don't know, guys. I'm still confused about a comment he made to me toward the end. Ooh, oh, he made a comment to you where in Rumble or if it's in Rumble, I can't see it. Was it on YouTube? Tell me it was on YouTube. I fell asleep towards the end. What did he say? Oh, it was drama. Thought I saw Unbreaded. Yeah, no, he said he acted like the dude that wrote Unbreaded. That's why I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought he was on with Uncivil though last night. I read that all wrong. He said on par. Dang, I miss Unbreaded. Aw. Yeah. I used to enjoy Unbreaded because I don't know how he used to read that so quick and replace all those words with the other words. I was like, see, my brain would have been like, no, you're slipping. I would have messed it up at some point. I miss Nick. I miss talking to Nick. I do. I feel like all my friends are like gone. It's weird. It's been a rough couple months. Yeah, he had Kurt on. That's what I thought. I think the night before was the night that I saw him. Not last night. I think it was the night before that I stopped in when he first started because he was like, it's not his comeback stream. Don't call it a comeback or whatever. Yeah, that was the one. So it was the night before. And I was like, fuck this. I'm tired. And I went to bed. I was like, I got my own damn show to do in the morning. I was just happy that, he was up and doing his show. He was saying something about he had 104 fever. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in like a week. I wasn't gonna bother him when he didn't feel good. And I was going through my own shit too, so we talked a little bit last week, but that was about it. Part of me wants to really apologize for this stream, but I'm not gonna again because I needed you guys. I really didn't want to be by myself. I really just wanted to talk it out and tell somebody I'm scared and I'm nervous and I'm just waiting for that text message. Hopefully it's not a big deal. Hopefully they just say, hey, No, who'd I get a text message from? Trump. What does it say? From Trump. I'm holding an emergency press conference. That was at 1:05. I will not be silenced. Will you? I mean, good luck silencing me. Many men have tried and failed. Yeah, I'm just waiting for that text saying, hey, we're transferring him right back to Ocala prison. Because, of course, he's right there in Daytona Beach. He's in Volusia County. I think that's how you say it. I don't really care. It's Florida. I don't care. No offense, Enya. Nerd full offense. No offense. I just don't want to. All my exes that go to Florida wind up with mugshots. It's the weirdest thing. Miguel has a mugshot, and then his wife wound up getting a mugshot right afterwards because, I don't know, he tried to pull her out of the car by her arm. And then when the cop got there, she slapped Miguel in front of the cop. And so they both wound up getting arrested. And they were like, well, we don't want to press charges. And the cop was like, it don't matter. I was there. I saw it. I'm making sure you're both charged. Y'all are way too strict out there because, I mean, we Jersey people tend to get like rough, even just play rough. It could be misconstrued. You need a distraction, so here we are being a distraction for you. I appreciate that. I really do. Volusia County. Daytona Beach. Of course, he's party boy. That's exactly where he moved to, was Daytona Beach. I remember when he went there and he came back and he was like, I'm going back to Florida. I was like, you just got back. He was like, no, I'm moving to Florida. Where? And he was like, Daytona Beach. I said, of course you're moving to Daytona Beach. He was like, every day is like spring break. I was like, yeah, that's going to help you grow up. And he was like, oh, I don't want to grow up. Oh, whatever. YouTube time moves super fast. Yesterday was like 2 weeks ago. For real. That's just the way it works. Hey, Wolfkinder. Yeah, that's just the way it is here. So strange. Yo, I'm so sick to my stomach. I can't. You can't imagine what my nerves are doing to me right now. Nothing in the world makes me nervous like this. Especially since the last time. It's like almost like a residual, like a holdover feeling from last time. When they sent me the thing saying he could be released directly, the judge could release him directly from court. I was like, release? No. Like, I want that word anywhere near him. I just don't want it. Wolfram, oh, we're going to sing this again. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's lots of toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. From bikes to trains to video games. It's the biggest toy store there is. Not anymore. I don't want to grow up, but baby, if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More trains, more toys. Oh boy, I want to be a Toys R Us kid. I asked Winning last night. I said, do you think everybody has like running soundtracks in their head 24/7, or is that just like my affliction? Because I literally have songs ready to just pop right out of my mouth any given time. And it doesn't take much prompting either. Like you could literally, I'm just like, dance, monkey dance. Like you could just drop a line somewhere and it'll be something random or like hum something and I will sing the whole goddamn song. Every time. Never fails. At least you get notification. Yeah, but I got nowhere to run. That's the thing. I got nowhere to run. Nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. But because he knows where I live. He's lived here. Like he's stayed here for weeks at a time. I got this thing, y'all, with my exes just showing up. Carlos showed up, pretended he was a delivery man, and tried to force his way in. That didn't go well for either one of us. Yeah, Miguel, he just shows up when he feels like it. Eddie just shows up when he feels like it. Tommy, same thing, just shows up when he feels like it. And if he ever gets out, he's going to head right for me. I need to get the fuck out of this town. Why else do you think I have weapons stashed all over my house? I'm not worried about random people in my house. Like, good luck getting through my door. I have the, like, ultimate city dweller's door. It is a 2.5-inch wide door, fully metal. You ain't getting through that bitch. It's heavy. It's got, wait, I don't even remember how many locks I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 locks plus the automatic lock. So it's 6 locks on that door. Mind you, they're not all locked. I like to randomly lock one and then unlock one. And I change them every time. My son thinks I'm crazy. But I'm like, lock the door, not that one. And he's like, but no, you locked that one last time. And he's like, all right. I'm like, lock the next one, but then the next one, do that one. But I did that one. I know. He's like, there's something wrong with you. I'm like, I just don't want them to guess which ones are open. This way they're always either locking or unlocking a lock without realizing it. And I have slide locks. I have like the big, like the bar slide. Listen, I know I'm a little heavy on security here, but I got 2 special needs kids. When I had those locks installed, they were both little. And I was like, if somebody breaks in, I'm fucked because ain't nobody rushing to my defense. And I got 2 kids and, like myself to defend. Better they just don't get in here. You would have an easier time cutting through my wall than getting through my door. And it's not like I got to worry about the windows unless they're going to grapple their way in like friggin' SWAT. And God, that's not a challenge. Not at all. Toot, 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 toot. Don't do it to me. Don't do it. Nobody ever sent me the link about the crochet lady that got swatted. I really want to see that stream. Come on. Somebody just tell me her name at least so I could look it up. I know one of you mentioned it. I just don't remember who. Because that's how my brain has been this week. And this is not good because I told you I've had like 4 or 5 days of bad brain activity. Like I really can't. My emotions are all over the place because I can't process things correctly. I can't remember things. I can't speak. Oh, Wolfkinder, it was you. Goody. Yay. I'm glad. See, I knew it was one of my girls. I'll look for the crochet lady. Thank you. You could just, if you remember her name, even like the channel name, I'll find it. But yeah, I was really, it's like, I really want to see that because I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Who did they even say who did it to her? Does she have any idea who did that? Because if you crochet for your channel, that's what you're about. Who are you pissing off? The knitting ladies? Like, is it that kind of competition? Is it competitive there? Like, is that a niche that where they're like a little cutthroat? Because I mean, I've been to crochet and knitting circles where those bitches are mean. Like, they are not nice little old ladies. Like, they're ladies that will stab you with their knitting needles. Like, they don't play. But I'm just wondering, like, who? It's YouTube. And that bums me out because I learned how to crochet again by watching YouTube videos on it. Because all my lessons came at me when I was like less than 10, like younger than 10. See, I can't talk. Have y'all noticed? I can't. I mean, it's not that I'm the most eloquent person all the time, but I'm usually somewhat coherent. She had an idea and just saying that cold drama. And I just stumbled on it. Don't know the history. Ooh, that sounds like something I'd like to unravel. No pun intended. But let me follow that thread to the beginning. Oh man, there's so many jokes. So many jokes. All bad, but funny as shit to me. The corniest jokes are the best ones to me. I love corny jokes. Oh my God. When I can't. Like when you guys throw out like some random like dad joke or some really cheesy joke, it makes my day. Because it's just, I mean, come on, my favorite joke is, what do you call a dog with steel balls and no hind legs? Sparky. Like that. What's the dirtiest thing ever said on TV? Gee, Ward, you were awful hard on the beaver list. Oh, Mickey and Minnie went to divorce court. Donald Duck is the judge. And he says, Mickey, what's wrong with you? You're divorcing Minnie. She's so sweet. She's beautiful. Everybody loves her. Mickey looks at the judge and says, because she's fucking goofy. Horrible, horrible, horrible jokes. Oh, God, they make me laugh. Oh, the worse the joke, the more I'm gonna laugh. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Oh. I needed that laugh. God. Yeah. I'm starting to like get a little tired. What is Jesus's favorite sport? Lacrosse. Oh, that's terrible. Shame on you, nerd. Oh gosh, forgive me. That was funny. So sorry, God. To be fair, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. He said it. Strike him with lightning. It's Florida. Nobody will notice. It's fine. And they'll be like, oh, just some freakish weather. One of those Florida 1 p.m., like lightning storms. I don't think there's lightning anywhere like there is in Florida. I'm sorry. Okay. Bag O' Day Crochet hit 1 million subs and got swatted. Oh, stop. Oh my God. I gotta write that down. Where's my pen, man? God damn it. All right. So that is Bag O' Day Crochet. Bag O' Day Crochet. Sounds like a English tart. Bag O' Day Crotchet. It's just terrible. Do you know that my pediatrician's name was Dr. Pessin? Just take that in for a minute. Dr. Pessin, Pessin. And of course, I was sitting in the car with my mother, and we're like on our way to shopping. I was in my 20s, and like we were going shopping or something. And I said, "You realize that if you just switch 2 letters in that doctor's name, his name is Dr. Penis?" And she was like, she's driving. She looks at me. She was like, "What?" I was like, "Dr. Pessin. He was Dr. Penis." And she, no, oh my God, you're right. Oh my God, I wish I would have known that. I was like, how do you not know that? She was like, how old are you? I was like, yeah. I was like, but I was a kid, to be fair. She was like, what the hell made you think of him? I was like, I was just thinking all the times I got in the car with you and I wound up at the doctor and I hated you for it. She was like, oh yeah, well, we had to trick you. Otherwise you wouldn't get in the car. I hated the doctor. I still hate the doctor, but I really hated the doctor. He said, hey, it made you laugh. Yes, it did, nerd. Thank you very much. What do Christmas and werewolves on the beach have in common? Sandy Claus. Here comes Sandy Claus. Here comes Sandy Claus. I hate you all. I really do. Hey, HT, how are you? This is my neurotic stream. It was just a pop-up stream for everybody to like tell me, hey, how you doing? And for me to tell you that my ex is currently in court trying to win his last appeal on his murder charge. So if he wins it, I'll let you know. If he doesn't, I'll let you know tomorrow during the stream. But if I suddenly disappear, well, then you know that they granted it to him. Why are most people fired on April 1st? They've just finished a 31-day march. It would be funnier if it wasn't my birthday. I love when people tell me that there's only 30 days in March. They're like, that's not your birthday. What? Your birthday is not March 31st. You meant March 30th. No, I'm pretty sure I know my own goddamn birthday. It's March 31st. There's only 30 days in March. No, there's 31 days in March. No, see, and they go through the whole fucking song. And I'm like, keep going. Go ahead. I don't have to sing the song. I know there's 31 days in March. You know how I know it? It's my goddamn birthday. It's the same day every year. But people will still argue with me. I don't get it. My new guilty pleasure on YouTube, Cassie Dressler Comedy. She does a cast of characters in an 80s hair salon. I gotta write that down too. Wait. You had me at 80s hair. I am gonna wind up breaking this damn cereal bowl. So that's what is it? It's Cassie Dressler. Cassie Dressler Comedy. Thank you very much. I am gonna wind up breaking that goddamn bowl. How is a push-up bra like a bag of chips? As soon as you open it, you realize it's half empty. That's a lie. That's a lie. My mom taught me the knuckle trick. Yes, I do too. You start on the one knuckle, it's January, then the space, February, knuckle, March, space, April. Every knuckle is 31 days. And you get to the last one, you could either start over or you just hit that knuckle again and work your way backwards. My grandmother in Florida actually taught me that one. She's like, it's the easiest way to figure it out. I'm like, all right. I still, to this day, Amber, that's so cool that you do that. I never met anybody else who did that. Never. That's so funny. Aw, you do the same thing I do. That's so cool. Elephant at T3 last night, I made a comment, something along the lines of, is this when Nick tells us he's running for political office? His response was to not let him, and how his family and friends and yada yada. And then he said something about a letter with my picture in it. And I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? It made no sense. He always said he can never run for political office because he wore blackface. Because they have a picture of him in blackface. I'm like, they also have a picture of you with a bottle like shoved between your legs that people love to say it's up his ass. No, it's not. That would be a different angle. Trust me. Trust me. She pops open the Aquanet can and says, cigarette down. Oh, hell yeah, because you'll lose bangs that way. You will be persona flambe. Yeah, Nick he's a little shot. He was dressed as a Drex, right? Yeah. He was talking about something about the fats, my pick, and a letter. I was confused as fuck. I don't know. He loves picking on fat people. He's so weird. He's actually like really fat phobic. He's so fat phobic. Like, and it's not even like fat phobia. He's not afraid. I think he is a little afraid of them actually. He gets mad. They send him into a rage. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. And I've told him many times, I'm like, bitch, I'm thick. Like, if you got a problem and you want like some anorexic friends, like, don't talk to me. I was like, you hurt my feelings every time you say anything about anybody who needs to lose like any weight. Fuck you. Like, this is me. I'm a thick bitch. I have never claimed to be anything but thick. I am Italian. I got the hips and tits and ass for days. Stop. Like, no. There's plenty of bounce to every ounce. Like, what time you say more cushion for the pushing? It never got in my way. Never got in my way. Ever. It's like, okay. Not everybody's going to be a fucking model. I'm sorry. I grew up on carbs. Fuck you. And he was like, no, I don't mean you. Fuck you, Nick. Like, you say it. You don't give a shit whose feelings you fucking hurt. And he's like, no. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You're free. I'm like, that's because you can't handle it. And he's like, I probably couldn't. Like, no, I know you couldn't. I could look at you and tell you couldn't. Justices seem skeptical that Trump has absolute immunity, but also may not immediately greenlight the January 6th criminal trial. That's the update I got on my phone just now. How many more things they want to give me anxiety about? I don't qualify for my 600-pound life. That's not a goal. Yeah, no, I don't qualify for that either. Fuck that. No. No, thank you. Not even close. I don't give a fuck. I'm hot and fluffy, but I'm sure as hell still fit in airplane seats, so not that fat. There you go, babe. There you go. Listen, when I bounce my ass, it bounces back. But that doesn't mean it's, a bad thing. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Then fuck it. Go somewhere else. I ain't got a problem. Like I said, I'm 100% Italian. And it shows in my ass. Like, my grandmother's thing was, I get the butt. She's like, but where'd you get the tits? She was like, because none of us have none of us have tits. I'm like, I know. She's like, you get that from your nana. It's like, oh, thanks. Because you do. You get that from your nana. That's what she used to call her. It's so funny when grandmothers don't get along. It really is. When they compete against each other, it's hilarious. Outpost nerd. I'm happy being chubby. I could lose some spare tire, but I don't have to. Everybody should be the healthiest they could be. I mean, I battle this damn swelling every day in my legs. That's the part that gets on my nerves because no matter what I do, like my knees they're just bad. And I know I have to get surgery at some point, and I'm not looking forward to it because I don't see how they're going to do it. I don't trust doctors. So thinking that they're going to like cut me up and take like lymph nodes out of different places and everything. Yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. It doesn't leave me in a good place, But I try, I use the compression bandages and I do what they tell me to do. I do all the leg exercises. I do leg exercises every day so that I can, like keep them mobile and keep them at least semi fucking flexible. But when I popped that, like yesterday, I popped was it yesterday? No, the day before. My kneecap popped out of place again. So it's off to the side. And it fucking hurts. But there's nothing I can do. I went and I tightened the compression bandage. Like I said, if I was sure I would look like Violet from Oh, stop it. No, you wouldn't. Oh, stop it. I look like Violet when she turned into a blueberry. Can I squeeze you? Come on, we'll all have Ellie juice. She's like, all right, you took it too far. 150, 160 looks way different on me than someone 5'4" or 5'5". Yeah. Oh yeah. It's amazing when people are just like, they're like, wait, like I weigh and I'm like, I'm happy for you. I don't weigh that. And they're like, no, but you're about to no. Like you have like 8 inches of height on me. Are you kidding me? Like Christine, she's 6 feet tall. No matter how much weight she put on, she wore it like differently. Like she just, I don't know. She never looked heavy to me ever. Like she looked athletic. Sometimes her ass was a little more athletic than normal, but I would still call it athletic. I did a lot of stuff when I was little. So, I mean, I had really strong legs. So when my muscles in my legs went all wonky, it was like, what the fuck? So I was always proud of how strong and like good my legs were. I'm still the only one in my family who doesn't have varicose veins. I have fucking, lymphedema, but I don't have the varicose veins. Every single person in my family looks like somebody drew up and down their legs with a bumpy blue marker. or just took like loads of yarn and just glued them up and down their legs because it's horrible. And my mother said, "You'll get them one day. You'll get," like, this bitch was wishing I would get varicose veins. And nope, never, not once. I don't have not one spider vein, nothing. Thankfully, my legs are all like healed up, like wound wise. I don't have any wounds on my legs. So it's like, yay. Because that took a while for like the pigmentation to go back to normal. And oh, y'all have no idea. Like, you could almost see the bone that first time I was in the hospital. That's how bad that wound was on the back of my calf. It was so bad and so necrotic. It was deep. That's why it took like, what did it take? 4 months for it to fully heal? With the nurse coming like every 2 days, change the dressing. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. That's the one that almost killed me. That's the one that was septic. I used to pray so hard to hit 5 feet. Never happened. Oh, honey, you're not 5 feet tall. Shut up. Are you really under 5 feet tall? Oh, I've had so many friends that are like four between 4'9" and 4'11 because, you know, I'm Italian. Oh, I enjoy short people so much, especially when they're shorter than me. I feel tall. I spent most of my life on heels, like big clunky heels and platforms. Like, my motorcycle boots were like the platform front with like the platform and like 6-inch heel and the like chunk-a-monk heel in the back. Cause fuck you. Like 5'3" sucks. I can't reach nothing. And I'd be walking around, everybody would be like, whatever. Like, I have this weird confidence from being tall. And then at some point I'd get tired and just take my shoes off. Like, and they'd be like, "Where'd you go?" I'm like, "I'm down here." Gee, that was her thing. She was like, "Don't you dare wear your boots when we go out." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because then I'm not even like, I reach like your chest." I'm like, "I know." Normally she reaches like my ear. I've been told by casting directors that my weight makes me castable. My thoughts are, then why the hell are y'all not casting me? I mean, maybe. I try to go to sleep, but your genes were lazy. That's one way of looking at it. And you said, "Ellie, I'm more like an Oompa Loompa." Oh, stop. Shut up. I bet you're adorable. Stop. I used to pray so hard. Yeah. That reminds me, I need to bounce on my trampoline today. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. See, my luck, I would bounce and like I'd over bounce because I get rambunctious. I do, you know, I'm extra. I take everything way too far. I'd probably be like, bounce, 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 boing, right off. And we're talking broken hip, broken leg, like goddamn trampoline, and I'll blame you the whole time. It'll be all your fault. You'll hear me cursing from Texas. My grandmother's 4'11". She used to tease her hair, so she'd be 5'2" on her ID. That's hilarious. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I was tall when I used to tease my hair. I definitely looked a lot taller. My relationship with my body changed when I heard your body is the result of all your ancestors who survived. There you go. That's one way to look at it. All my ancestors are dead. They're all dead. But they all lived into their 80s and 90s. So there's that. And the women always outlast the men. I mean, in my family, we outlast them by like 20 years or more. No, I'm 4'11". Aw, that's so cute. She's fun size. She's bite size. That's what she is. I'm fun size. She's bite size. I made it to 5'3". Shelly, we have somebody shorter than us here. I know. How come every story I've heard of sepsis, it takes the doctors forever to diagnose? So scary. Well, I mean, to be fair, we didn't know that I was passing out because I was going like I had sepsis. We didn't know that. We just thought I was overtired because I was streaming all the time because of some stupid amphibian. But we just thought I was tired because I would fall asleep on stream and I'd wake up and continue the conversation like I never fell asleep. And I wasn't falling asleep. I was losing consciousness and I didn't realize it. Plus, I don't get fevers. A fever for me is 99. If my temperature hits 99, that's considered a fever for me because my normal temperature is 96.7. So it's like, yeah. And I remember because it's a radio station, that's my base temperature. I don't know why I run at that temperature. I always thought I was a normal person, but apparently no. And my grandmother used to remark, she was like, you never get fevers. Like the highest you get is like 99 and you look like you're dying. Like she thought I was being like weak about it. No, it's because that's a fever to my body. Ellie, I'm 5'9". You're 5'9"? You suck. God, I would kill to be 5'9". Ugh. Ugh. No, but Amber, if I hadn't had like this really like painful friggin' thing where I would like scream for hours, I never would have gone to the hospital. I just would have dealt with the pain. Eventually I would have gotten used to it and it would have leveled out because that's just the way I am. If the pain gets to be too much, well, we're just gonna have to work on my tolerance level. I have a very high tolerance for pain. So for that to hurt me as bad as it did, I was in really bad shape. And I went to the hospital for the pain and they swabbed it and they told me that it was, there was Pseudomonas and Staphylococcus infections in there, and they were both antibiotic resistant. And my body was going to septic shock. So I had to decide if I wanted to live or die. And the only way that they weren't even guaranteeing that they could save me. They were just like, we'll try, but you have to agree to it. You're going to get really sick and it's going to be really hard. You're going to be here for like 2 weeks. And I wasn't going to do it. If it wasn't for what I do here, and at the time I was doing it somewhere else, but if it wasn't for like the people in my chat and the people that I talk to on here, and if it wasn't for my kids, and if it wasn't for like this weird light that just, I don't know, it wore me up from the inside. It kept convincing me it's not my time. I want to be here. It was like, you need to make up your mind. Like, do you want to stay or do you want to go? Because this is the point. And I wanted that light. I wanted it. I was ready to chase it. And I'd never felt that except when I was pregnant with Connor. Like that kind of a cleansing, beautiful energy. All those things combined, I was like, no, I'm not ready. And I've been ready most of my life to check out. And when it came down to it, I was like, no, I'm not ready. Throw the kitchen sink at me. Like, I don't care how sick it made. And it made me sick. But yeah, they hit me with everything they had. They're like, we only have these antibiotics that might help and we can't guarantee it. I was lucky. I was lucky that I was able to beat that. And the Staphylococcus came back. The staph infection came back 6 months later. They found it. And I had to go through it all again. But I didn't have like the huge, like gaping wounds that I had the first time. It was bad the first time. Like my feet were peeling off and everything. It was bad. My feet are all nice and pink and healed now. But you wouldn't even know that something happened to them. But the pictures I have, oh my God. Like I look at them and I want to cry because I'm like, how did I live through that? And do a show every day. for several hours every day. That's why this show is only three days a week, because I know I need to rest. Occasionally I'll do a pop-up when there's something on my mind, like today, when I just can't be by myself. Like I'm starting to, like, my shoulders are going down from my ears. So like I'm relaxing a little bit more. So I might be able to sleep, but this morning it wasn't happening. And I was like, what do I want? What do I need? Winnie was sleeping and I didn't want to bother him. So I was like, what do you look for? Most people call their mother. No, I go on YouTube and go, hey guys, I need you, because y'all are more reliable than my mother and way more loving. What does that say about my life? Oh my goodness. I mean, not to like begrudge you guys anything, because you're all fucking fabulous. You're fucking fabulous. But like, I can't even rely on my mother to like, she'd be like, oh, well, that's what you attract. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. You want to talk about what you attracted? Because I could tell you things about your ex-husbands that'll turn your hair white. Again. Oh, my hubby, he's somewhere between 5'2" and 5'4". Oh, he wears combat boots and he won't tell me how tall he is. Ellie, your husband sounds like a hoot. He does. I'm sorry. He sounds funny. Amber said it's like at this point they exhausted everything. Test the blood for sepsis. Yeah, I mean, and that was the thing. Like they're like, but sepsis usually has a high fever and da-da. And then I was like, and then I told them about what my baseline. They were like, no. I was like, yeah, that's my normal temperature. Like I've been taking my temperature since I, had my first daughter, because I wanted to have more. So I used to track my temperature like all throughout the month. My grandmother thought I was crazy. I was like, I have to figure it out. It's called basal temperature. And she was just like, yeah. And so I knew if my temperature was like elevated, don't have sex. Like, don't do it. Don't do it, bitch. Because you're going to get pregnant. Don't do it. Because I don't even trust condoms. No. I'm allergic to latex. I can't use them. The doctor was like, how do you not know that you're allergic to latex? Because I didn't find out till I was 42. And he was just like, how did you not know you were allergic to latex? He was like, I was like, yeah, no, I didn't use those. What are you, crazy? Did you not meet my children? Like, I have 2 kids. The fuck? Like, does it sound like I used condoms? No, it was Russian roulette all the way. And I caught the bullet every goddamn time. I still, to this day, I'm like, thank God I never caught anything but babies. Lord. Like, nope. I was like, ugh. But I mean, I wasn't a slam out. It's just the guys that I was with. There was just, 2 or 3 that I was with for like, what, 20 plus years? Combined. They were always long-term relationships. That's why I give them a minimum of 3 years. I don't make that promise anymore. Now I'm like, I ain't making you shit for promises. You fuck up, I'm out. Like, I'm not. Life is short. My life is shorter than most. So, And you said after about the 7th grade, I enjoyed being short. Back in the day, I could just climb on anything to get things. Now with my old self, not now with my old self. That's the thing. I miss being able to just hop up on the counter and get to, like, I would literally be standing on the kitchen counter. My son would come in and be like, what are you doing? I'm reaching the top shelf. What do you want? He's like, I'm not allowed to stand on the counter. Well, you're not me. I pay the bills in this bitch. So like, I'll stand on what I want to stand on. Stop putting shit on the top shelf. He thinks it's so funny now that he just reaches up and gets stuff. And he's like, oh, is this what you want? Is this what you want? Like, and he'll hold it over my head. I'm like, I will punch you. Don't think I won't. That's why short women are violent. Because y'all like to hold things over our heads and go, here, come on, reach for it. I ain't reaching for shit, but I will punch you right in your freaking solar plexus or kick you right in your nuts. Like, you want to see how fast I bring you down to my friggin' level? Like, give me my damn cereal. Fuckers. Oh God, that's the worst. When somebody's like, nah, 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 nah. Hey, come on, reach for it. Come on, jump for it. Come on, you can do it. I have every faith in you. You can do it. I'm like, "Hey, really? I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna punch you right where it hurts. Like, give me the damn box." I had sepsis a few years back. You have to go to a specialist and do special blood tests to find out. Yeah, they found out in the hospital. So my husband is 5'8", 5'9", so I make him feel so tall. I bet. I bet. Listen, I'm 5'3". Miguel was 6'7". Okay. If you ever saw the pictures of me and him at Katie's christening, you can't see me. If they took the pictures from behind, like all of us up at the altar, you can't see me because all you see is his big Jagunda self. Because I only reach his nipples. That's it. The top of my head reaches his boobs. Like, that's it. That's a horrible place to be. He used to lean on my head. We'd be in line for something. He'd put his arm on my head and lean. I'd be like, I will bite you. I swear to God. Get off me. If I like you and you do it, that's cute. If I don't like you, I will bite you. And not in a good way. He says he's 5'7", but his ID says 5'8", I think. Aw. That's right. Even Christina's 6 feet tall. I can't win. I'm always the short one. That's why when I started working with G, it was so nice because she's under 5 feet tall. I had a friend that did that. Her normal temper was about 97. Her favors would be 99.5. Yep. And she'd be deathly sick. When I was little and my temperature went up to 104, I was absolutely delirious. Absolutely delirious. And there was nothing wrong with me. My mother and father went on their honeymoon. This was her second marriage. And I was so upset that they left me. Like that I really didn't believe they were coming back. I didn't believe Daddy was coming back. I thought she took him and that was it. And she was going to keep him to herself. And I made myself so sick that I almost died. Like the doctor came to the house every fucking day. And they couldn't get my fever to break. And my mother walked in the door and I saw Daddy and instantly, boom, my fever broke right then and there. It poured out of me like just sweating constantly. And it just dropped. The whole thing dropped. And they were like, I'll be damned. And my brother was like, it was all the medicines that they all kicked in right now. Yeah, sure it was. Had nothing to do with the fact that I wasn't scared anymore that Daddy left. Like, yeah. So I've never been that sick from abandonment issues after that. Because in truth, anybody else could just walk out of my life and I'd be like, all right. Like, do you? I'd be upset. I'd be heartbroken, but I wouldn't be like deathly sick like I was when I thought that he walked out. It's funny the things your mind can do to your body. No reason at all why I should have been that sick, but I was that sick. Oh, is that right, Ellie? I hope they find a simpler, quicker way to test. It sounds like the most awful thing. It is. It's horrible. Poor Moose. Like, Moose was like, Shelly, what do you mean you hear a band? I was like, it was 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, why is somebody playing? Like, there's a marching band outside my window. He was like, okay, you don't live that far from me. It's 2 a.m. I was like, yeah. There's no marching band playing outside your window at 2 a.m. And don't you live on like the 5th floor? I was like, yeah, but they're right outside my window. He was like, you're hallucinating a whole bunch. That ain't good, girl. Like, no, that's not good. You need to go to a hospital. I was like, nah, I'm fine. Yeah, no, I heard the marching band every night. Every night, 2:00 in the morning. It'd be, da, 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 da. I was like, oh my God. And it was always like the Spirit of St. Louis songs. It was so funny. Not Spirit of St. Louis. What the hell was that movie with Judy Garland? Meet Me in St. Louis. There you go. Spirit of St. Louis was a plane. Wow. I told you. Brain not doing well. This is going to be like my Riri stream. Like I'm just completely off my rocker. But at least I'm not muted, Nick. He does his comeback show and comes in muted. I'm sitting there going, why can't I hear him? Is this idiot muted? Like, are you really? Come on, Nick, get with the program. And of course, he's like, God damn it. I love Nick. He's one of my top 10 people. Like, he is one of my favorite people on the planet. Oh, there's just something about him. I'm not loving his streams lately, but when he does them, but hey, I just hate looking at him when he doesn't look well because my heart hurts to look at him. I literally want to send him food. You have no idea how much I was like, I just want to get on a plane, go to Minnesota and just cook. I just want to go in his kitchen, just cook him just nonstop meals and make him eat them. Like, that's all I want to do. It doesn't matter that, I'm in pain. I want to feed him. Like, he needs to eat. Somebody hand him a couple sandwiches. Dagwood sandwiches, like the big friggin' things. The part that's scary is that it can mess your heart up. So you're advised to get your heart checked. Yeah, they did all the stress things, the stress tests. That's the weirdest thing when they do the non-exercise stress test where they they make your body go through like the same conditions as if you were running for 10 minutes. They give you a medicine that hypes your whole entire body up. You start to sweat, your heart starts racing, your muscles will contract, and it's just like, oh my God. And then the only antidote to it, to get rid of it, is soda. They give you a cup of Coke, a cup of Coca-Cola. And they're like, here, drink this. And as soon as you drink it, everything's done. The feeling goes away. There's no nauseousness. The sweating stops. Everything, like your heart rate goes back to normal. I'm like, what the hell? So, see, Coca-Cola can be medicinal. It can be. I had a temp of 106 when I was little, like 4 or 5, and it triggered seizures, and I was rushed to the ER, and they iced me down. Yeah, they didn't do that with me. The doctor just used to come to the house. You only went to the hospital for surgery and broken bones. That was it. A fever, screw you. Like, maybe a heart attack, you got to go there, but that was about it. Yeah, febrile seizures. See, I can't talk. Are scary. They are. Thank you for the hearts, Amber. You're very sweet. I remember the big tunnel of the MRI machine scaring me. Yeah, Katie used to have to get sedated. I went into an MRI machine once and was like, no, I don't know about my dental. And I got out and left. Yep. MRI machines can be very, very constrictive. I don't know why they still do the tube one. I really don't. Because they have the open MRI machines. I had to do that for Katie because Katie had she couldn't stand it when she was older. She still couldn't take the being confined like that. She still had that trauma. So I went looking for one that was an open MRI machine, and there's one literally 2 blocks from my house. And I brought her there, and it almost looks like a tortilla press. Like, that's what it looks like a giant tortilla press or like a giant waffle maker. But like the whole, it's a whole big disc on top. It's a big circle and it lifts up. And I mean, I'm talking like 6 foot diameter, and it lifts all the way up. And then you just slide in and you lay there on this big round, surface. And the thing comes down and it does the MRI. And the MRIs were perfect and she wasn't upset and whatever. And they're like, yeah, we don't do that for everybody. Then why have it? Why have it? I hate the tube one. I'm not somebody who feels claustrophobic on the regular. It don't bother me. My happy place is in the bottom of a dark closet where nobody can find me. There's no noise, no light, no nothing. Just let me decompress. Leave me alone. Like, all my senses are shut off. That's my happy place. It always has been. But you put me in one of those MRI machines or the CAT scan machines, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. I also don't like that thing that they pull down on your face, like over your head. I don't like that. I don't like anything. Well, I mean, I don't like anything restrictive, really, but like, I've been stuck in elevators with other people many times. I've been stuck in elevators by myself. I never freak out. I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Like, whatever. Hell, in Chipko, I got stuck in it for hours. And when they opened the hatch at the top, I'm sitting on the floor with the empty can of Diet Dr. Pepper and my cigarettes, just chain smoking, throwing them in the can. And they were like, you're not supposed to smoke in here. I've been in here for hours. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Well, there could have been a fight. I don't give a fuck. I didn't care. I did not care. They were just like, all right, you ready to get out? I ain't climbing out of there. You better bring this thing down to the bottom floor. Shit. Like, that was my only concern was, why am I stuck on the 5th goddamn floor? Like, that was the worst. I almost stepped into an elevator once that there was no car there. The doors opened, but the car was all the way at the bottom. And I was just like, whoa. I was like, thank God I looked. Because normally I'm looking at something when I get into an elevator. But I actually was like waiting and I had nothing else to do. And the doors open. I was like, why do I see brick? Where the fuck is it? Oh my God. Like, I could have died. And they were like, yeah, I don't know how that happened. I've had to get out of the elevator when it's halfway between floors. Oh, that ain't fun at all. They're like, oh, you can, either climb up the top or go down. No, I'm not. Nuh-uh. You put it where I could just literally like slither out and somebody's going to catch me, because no. Nope. Like, I'm not. It literally has to be like, I have to be in position, like in that middle position for like less than half a second. Because I've seen way too many of those movies. Y'all have seen those movies where they're like trying to get the lady out and then it all of a sudden falls and cuts her in half. Not going to be me. Nope. Most of the time I used to be like, just leave me in here. When you can get me to the ground floor, then I'll get out. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I had a bad virus when my daughter was little and they stopped taking my temperature at 105.9. Holy shit. And just started throwing ice cold saline bags on me and putting 2 in IV. Yep. I put cold saline in my veins. Holy crap. I have a titanium bone of hearing, so MRIs are a big no. Ooh. Yeah, I don't have any metal in my body. The only thing, whenever I have to like do those things, I always have to take my nipple rings out. Yes, I have nipple rings. Those were how old was I when I got those? 43? 43? I think I was 43 when I got them. It was for Marty's birthday. I got nipple rings for his birthday. Ain't that a bitch? And I didn't pay for them. She paid for them. And because she paid for them, because they were like $100, she got to watch the guy do them. She was fascinated. She was like, you didn't even flinch. She was like, you didn't even like change like what you were saying. Because I was talking the whole time. Mind you, we were drunk as fuck. But I was talking the whole time. And she was like, your voice didn't even like shake, nothing. Like there's no change at all. I pissed that guy off so bad. Because you know that the piercers that do that for a living, they're very like sadistic. That's why they do that. Because they enjoy inflicting that pain. And I wasn't giving him any satisfaction. He tried so hard with that second one to hurt me. And I was like, amateur. It was just like, really? I was like, yeah, you're going to have to do better than that. I was like, that shit don't hurt. I was like, that tickled. Do it again. And he hated me. God, he hated me. Oh, he was so mad. He was so bitter. Ellie, I was sick for over a year, so I went to a cardiologist and they ran a ton of tests. And one they were imaging, and I was weeping because my father died from a heart attack. Oh, honey. Oh, Ellie, I want to hug my girl so bad. Oh. I remember staying up late hours with you on Discord during that time, trying to keep your spirits up. Yep. You and Darth. It was you and Darth and T-Rex. T-Rex was on the road a lot though. But and I do have to say Moose spent a lot of time with me. And then I came out of the hospital and I followed that light. And as corny as that sounds, where'd that light lead me to? Winning. That's where it led me. And that's where it stopped. And I was like, oh, I get it now. Okay. I'll give this a shot. And it took me a good like week and a half to be like, all right, I get it. Stop it. It's weird to have somebody so in sync with you that like I'll open my eyes from a nap and within a minute I get the text going, you awake? And I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, it's not like it happens sporadically. It happens 2 to 3 times like a week for the whole year that we've been, friends. And it like I'm convinced that you have some type of like robot like in my computer, like some virus in my computer, or you have control of the cameras in my house or something, because how the hell he always knows. Always knows. The minute I wake up, I literally can wait or I'll be like, oh, I've been awake 10 minutes. I haven't heard from Winning. Bing. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, there he is. There he is. That's why we laugh when we do a stream together and we wind up like saying the same thing at the same time out of nowhere. It's not like a standard answer. It's like some weird thing that we both say at the same time. It's very bizarre. I have connections with people like that. Like Tommy and I were a little like that, but that was only in extreme circumstances. With Winning, it's literally like every second. And it's funny because like he'll call and I'll be like, oh, you're doing that. And I'm telling him what he's doing. And he's like, how the hell? And I'm like, oh, I can hear it. You can hear it. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm that in tune with what like your background sounds like. It's funny. I don't have that with anybody else. And I doubt I'll ever have that with anybody else. That's a connection that's very special to me. Because I've never had that with anybody where they're that in tune with me. And it's funny because for two people that are so in tune with one another, when we're out of sync, we're so out of sync. Like, it's just so weird. It's either all or nothing. It's bizarre. It's usually mostly all. We don't have bad spots, really. I mean, we have like, I can name like 4 or 5 bumps in the road in a year. For me, that's goddamn miraculous. Because I'm Little Miss Likes to fight. I fight about everything because I take everything personally. Like if I don't give a shit about you, you can say whatever you want. I'm gonna laugh in your face. But if you matter to me, like then everything you say is like, gospel. Not to be sacrilegious, but yeah, it just means more to me. It's like if I'm telling you you're upsetting me, then that means you mean something to me. If you say something that you know is going to get on my nerves and I don't react and I don't go quiet and I'm just like, and whatever, then we have a problem. We have a problem. Oh, I get along with Shelly. Nothing I say aggravates her. Oh, then she don't like you. She don't like you. If I give you a hard time, it just means you mean something to me. I'm a scutch. I mean, that's what I named Christine. I named her Scutch because it means you're a pain in the ass. But no, I do. I'm a ball buster. Like, that's what I do. I've always been like that. I'm never going to be any different. If I like you, I'm going to bust your balls. I'm going to bust your balls. Oh my God, Ellie, I'm so sorry to hear that. How are you doing to this day after all that? Ellie is a Terminator. I'm convinced of it. I am. I mean, think about it. She's had like, the surgeries. She's had like military experience. She's into like the whole genealogy thing. And, she's very not absolute minded. She's very clinical in her approach to things. Like she has a propensity to be either really, really emotional or really, really detached and clinical. Depends on what the situation calls for. So I'm convinced she's a Terminator. I am. She's a Terminator. She's sorry, Ellie. If you didn't know, I think you're a Terminator. And I love you for it. But I think you're a Terminator. You're cool with that, right? I'm pretty sure you would be. I think you'd like to be a Terminator. If I'm honest, you'd be like, you know what? I could deal with that. I could be a Terminator. That's cool. I think I'm okay, but there are medical tests I refuse to do. So there could be something up. You're going to be fantastic because I refuse to entertain the alternative. I'm not losing nobody else. Outpost nerd. I remember staying up till late hours with you on Discord during your time in the hospital, trying to keep your spirits up, and I was happy to do it. Okay. Thank you. I've thanked you many, many times for it. It was very sweet. Thank you again. And yeah, I will slap a motherfucker. I will jump to slap a motherfucker. You would too. You'd be like, wait, come here, I gotta tell you a secret. Wolfkinder, my knees give out, so I walk with the cane. I used to grab stuff off the high shelf at the grocery store. Oh, there you go. You used to grab the stuff on oh. Yeah, that's actually really useful. Yeah, because I can't, even if I go to the grocery store, which I don't, because I hate them. They're so dirty. I don't know what happened. Like the pandemic hit and all the grocery stores got dirtier. It was, maybe I just notice it more now. I don't know. It skeeves me out. But I either used to throw things at the top shelf or I would have to climb the shelves, which my son used to think was so funny. When he was smaller, I could literally pick him up and hold him above my head and he would grab it. That was great. But then he got bigger and I couldn't do that. Now he could just reach up and go get it. Although now I like to give him a list and he's like, I'm going to go to Acme. I'm like, can you get, he's like, send me a text. I'm like, okay, here's my card. But yeah, he just goes and then he's like, oh, everything was so heavy. It's 2 bags. Shut up. I used to have to come home with 4 bags worth of fucking heavy groceries and we didn't have plastic handled bags. They were brown bags. You know what it's like to try to carry 4 brown bags by yourself as a kid that you're trying to walk home and like not get hit by a car? It was not fun. It reminds me of Doc Hollywood and the town doctor gives him a Coke for the person's stomach rump. Well, that's what we used to take. You give him a Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola actually does settle your stomach. It can also get ahead of a headache. If you have a certain type of headache, like have a can of Coke, you'll be fine. We always used to keep, all of us teachers, we all kept a can of Coke in the drawer of our desks because you would get that weird kind of like tension, sugar, caffeine headache at like 1 o'clock. And if you drank like a little bit of the soda, you were fine. If you didn't drink the soda, you'd have that headache for days. Wolfkinder, I found out I was claustrophobic in an MRI. Yeah. It's a weird kind of feeling. Like it's a different encasement than anything else. And to me, it almost feels like a coffin. Like that's what I think it would feel like to be buried alive in a coffin. Like I just don't like it. I don't like it. I also don't like riding in a Fiero because it's the same feeling. Like you're just I'm like, who drives laying back like this? I can't. I need to see the road. Like I just need my aunt loved it. She used to sit like Indian style and drive her little Fiero. It was like, we're going to die in here, just so you know. My brain is foggy today. Oh, honey, I hope you're okay. I'm with you. It's bad. Like I literally, I had to mute myself watching the thing last night because I was trying to say something to Winning and it wasn't coming out. And it was right before we watched Shogun. It was right after Bad Batch. And I had to mute myself because I started crying. Because I couldn't speak. And then he was making fun of me because he was like, "You want it?" I was like, "Sure." And he was like, "Sure," like because it's not my usual answer. Usually, I'm a little more, loquacious than that. But no, everything last night was sure, sure. I was stuck on that word, sure, sure. And he was teasing me, but I didn't want to like say no. I'm literally stuck on that word. Like my brain keeps repeating it. So then I made it into a joke, and that's the only joke. Like that's the only word I used for like an hour. But I don't know why I couldn't tell him about the Tommy thing, and I couldn't talk about the brain thing. See, it bothers me. I value my brain over anything else about me, even over my heart, figuratively speaking. My mind is the most important thing to me. And brain fog scares the hell out of me because it's not fog. I feel detached. I feel stupid because I can't even read. Like the words, my brain is telling me, no, that's not the word. Stop saying that. That's not the word. And then I berate myself. And that don't help anybody. That elevator shit sounds like some Final Fantasy destination. Ellie's about to get tested for a tumor, so there's that. No. I haven't made the appointment because I can't do it without my husband there. Oh, honey, I didn't know that. Well, I'm already praying for you, so I'll just pray more. Oh, I love you. I hope everything's okay. Nerd, why is it when I delete a comment on here, it doesn't go away? Because you're not special. It doesn't delete them in StreamYard. It deletes them on YouTube, but don't delete comments. I've told you that before. Do not delete comments. I will take away your wrench. Don't think I won't. Elephant, I once sewed my own finger because I whittled the tip. Ooh. Hey, I saw how Terminator ended. No, you're the good Terminator. Listen, Terminator always comes back. You can't put that man down. Maybe you're cursed. A pox on you and your keyboard. Holy crap, Ellie. I couldn't even prick my own finger. Nah, when you really have to in you, you'll do it. You will. Trust me. I've been there. But it's a lot easier for me to sew up my own skin than it is for me to sew up somebody else's without a local, because I feel terrible doing that to somebody else. Why'd you go all Harry Potter on me and curse me just then? Well, because we are one with J.K. Rowling. And whoever started the Toys R Us jingle, thanks, it's wormed its way into my brain. I mean, you could have that, or you could have phenomena, do 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 do, phenomena, do 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 do, phenomena, do 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 do. Or what else what other? Oh, come on, guys, come up with earworms. Let's go. Dun 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 vanilla ice. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. What else? I told you, Summer Breeze is horrible. I hum it. That's my default hum. I don't get it. I hate that song. I don't understand why it won't leave my brain. There's something, and I've listened to it all throughout because they're like, listen to the whole song and it'll make its way out of your brain. Yeah, no, my brain was like, yeah, fuck you, buddy, and kept it. So it's like, great. So now I just know more words to it. What else? What other? Come on, Tom's Diner. What else? What are some really good earworms? My doctor growing up often gave us bottles of Coke syrup for the medicine cabinet. Yeah. Back when doctors gave you a prescription from a cabinet in his back room in a little paper envelope. Wolfkin, we used to go to the pharmacist for shit like that. You know how many times I skipped the doctor completely and I'd go to Stemple Pharmacy and I'd go in and it was Mr. Stemple. And I would go in and say, my grandmother sent me. She said that I have an earache and that, I have a sore throat. And he'd be like, all right. And he'd go out and he'd get one of those teeny tiny manila envelopes with a little flap on it. And he'd bring it out and he'd go, okay, so there's a week's worth in here. You take one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Like take one when you get up at 7 and one like at night at 7 before you go to bed for 10 days or 7 days or whatever. That's all you need. I'd be like, okay. Yeah. Or he'd make up like some cough syrup or whatever. I remember my grandmother gave me a note. I wasn't allowed to read the note. I gave it to the pharmacist and I was what, like 12? I was around 12. And he read the note and he just looked up at me and he just smiled and he said, I'll be right back. And he comes back out with the bottle. And I was like, okay. And he was like, you've been having a hard time sleeping? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you won't anymore. Now there's no label on the fucking bottle other than my name. He put a label and wrote Michelle with my maiden name. And like, he just gave it to me. And I was just like, okay. And again, knew my name off the top of his head. Yeah, because of course you do. And I went home and I gave it to my grandmother. And I said, he said 3 times a day, if I'm staying home, if I have to go to school once at night. And she was like, okay. How many tablespoons? I was like, just 1. And she was like, okay. And that night she gave it to me. Well, he gave me something with some kind of narcotic in it, knocked me the fuck out. I slept for a day and a half. A day and a half. My grandma was like, she said, the only reason I didn't call the ambulance is because I woke you up, walked you to the bathroom, and walked you back to the bed. And I was like, I don't remember any of that. She said, I'm not saying you were awake, but you were still moving. So that was fine. I was like, great. I was just walking around unconscious, just zombified. It's fine. But yeah, she gave him a note saying she has been coughing all night long for like a week. She can't breathe and she needs to sleep. And so he gave me cough syrup with some kind of narcotic in it. But all I know is I remember drinking like from the spoon. And I went, whoa, and that shiver was the last thing I remember because I was knocked the fuck out. Like literally I was done. And it was fine. But yeah, he could give you shit like that. They don't do that anymore. But I tell you, whenever he gave me a medicine, it worked. It did exactly what it was intended to do without any kind of like weird side effects. I mean, unless you call sleeping for a day and a half a weird side effect. I'm pretty sure she got me to drink more of that when I was asleep. She just told me she didn't. But I don't remember any of it. Day and a half, I don't remember. I don't remember any of the trips to the bathroom. I don't remember drinking soup. She said I drank soup. Like I drank broth. I don't remember none of it. I was very, very rarely was I sick as a kid. I always had like allergies. So I would always have like that weird like back drip, like that, that tickle all the time. And my tonsils sucked. That was it. But they wouldn't take them out because that caught any illnesses that I had, any infections before it could reach like into my throat and into my stomach and into my heart eventually. They said that was my best line of defense. So I still have my tonsils and my adenoids, which is why I snore, because my nose has been broken twice. So I have like my septum is beyond deviated. You can't tell looking at my nose, but if you feel it, you could like, if you squeeze the top of my nose, like right under the bridge, you can feel where it's not where it's supposed to be. And you can squeeze it and it feels a little like gritty because I broke the cartilage. Like it was bad. Like I knocked it out of place once, but then I broke the cartilage. It was bad. That was the only time that when I actually like when it snapped, then I had to go to the hospital. But the other time, the second time, I just shoved it right back into place because it just popped out. At that point, it was like, meh, just right back in. But woo, does that shit hurt? And if you don't do it right, good God. But my uncle taught me how to do it. He was like, I know how to reset a nose. I was like, okay. He thought I got hit in the face with a door. I was like, sure. That's how I broke my nose. Sure it is. That's why I look like a friggin', raccoon or a panda. I swear, my bones don't really break. My cartilage is crap, but my bones don't break. I have very high calcium in my bones. The doctor always said that. He was like, your bones they're really strong. I was like, thank God, because I'm the most accident prone person you're ever going to meet. I walk into tons of shit. We have an electrical pole that's behind the Little League field. It's a regular telephone pole, and then there's this weird power line triangle that goes from the top of the pole into the ground, but at like a 45-degree angle. And it's not super thick or whatever, but it's hard to see unless you know it's there. And I was just walking along and I almost freaking garroted myself because it was just like, oh my goodness. My son thought it was so funny because I was on the floor and I was like, it's not funny. Pick me up. Like, get me up. Like right now. He was like, you really just won't. He goes, you really just clotheslined yourself. I was like, I know. Because I don't pay attention. Like, I'm aware of people, not objects. It's so weird. Like, I will avoid somebody walking behind me and I'll walk right into a bus. It's just whatever. It is what it is. I'm not afraid of buses. I'm afraid of people. My doctor growing up often I read that. From bike to train to video games. Yep. Current mood, staring at my dog sleeping. They're dreaming, so their paws are twitching and they look like they're running. Oh, I love that. That's my second favorite thing to watch sleeping. I love to watch babies. Especially if you take the bobo out of their mouth when they're asleep and they keep like doing that little they do like this little pouty motion. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. I used to do that to Katie because she had the Nook. Connor was like, he tried the Nook and he was like, nothing comes out. Fuck that. Like, it was like, no, where's a cup? Give me a cup. I want a cup. No, I'm talking about delete my own comments when don't delete your own comments either. It affects us. It messes up the whole chat interaction rate and everything else. Don't do that. Now, Shelly, stop plugs. Sorry, did one of them get to you? Now there's two. Under Pressure, which is the same as friggin' Ice Ice Baby. Dun, 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 dun. But that's how Ice Ice Baby starts. And I know that's how Under Pressure starts. It's always a battle for the two of them. Like Marty would come in the classroom and say, stop. And she would be like, collaborate and listen. And I'd be like, in the name of love. And he'd be like, you know what? Like, whatever. Sometimes we do it together and he'd be like, stop. And we'd be like, hammer time. Oh. He'd be like, you're both a shot. You shot out. Like, there's something wrong with the two of you. Oh. He came in one day. He was like, it's a good day to be alive. G automatically launched into the hills are alive. I was like, oh, God. I was like, here we go. Here we go. And that whole day was just nothing but songs. All songs all day long. She couldn't do a movie reference to save her soul. But you could drop like 2 bars of a song and she would launch right into it. It was great. That's why we got along so well, because we would compete all day long, just who was going to do it. This is the song that doesn't end. Yep. This is a song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song. That was Christine's song. She used to sing that to irritate the shit out of me. And little did she know I was so amused that she would sing, it didn't irritate me. I would pretend it did so that she'd keep doing it. I mean, I'm not stupid, but she hated that song. And she would sing it to annoy me, and it didn't annoy me. I just thought she was adorable when she used to sing it. I sat outside her door. One day she was really upset. I sat outside her dorm room door because I was worried. And I was just singing songs. Now you got a picture. I'm 19 years old, sitting on the other side of this damn door in the middle of a dormway hallway. All people pass me all day long. I'm out there for hours and I'm telling her stories and I'm talking to her. This bitch climbed out her window and went and got something to eat and came back. She comes walking up in front of me. I'm like, where the fuck you went? But you're in, but wait a minute. And she was like, yeah, I climbed out the window. I was like, oh, no, you didn't. She really did. She climbed out her damn window. Bitch. And I'm sitting there singing to nobody. And I'm like, there's 4 in the bed. And the little one said, roll over. Roll up. Because at that point, I was just singing everything in the repertoire. I had sung like House of the Rising Sun. I did everything. So at this point, I was at nursery rhymes and bullshit songs. So I was just like, whatever. But yeah, no. I was like, where the hell's you? Like, how did you? But you're inside. No, I left. Bitch. Like, I'm over here worried about you. I'm sneaking pizza under the damn door for you so that you eat. She was like, yeah, I ate that. What? The theme to Jurassic Park has been stuck in my head for years. Yeah, no, that one don't bother me. Oh, that's so sweet. I love to watch my baby sleep. Yep. Yep. I love to watch the cats because when they dream, it's so funny. Because I know Boo is a chicken shit, but in his dreams, he must be some kind of badass because he's always fighting in his dreams. Always. I just look at him and I hear the and I'm like, who is he mad at? Like, did Snips eat your food again in your dream? Because she did it in real life too, but you're too much of a pussy cat to fucking do anything about it. Codeine? Yeah, it probably was codeine. But I mean, we didn't call it, we just knew it was just something that was going to knock you out. My doctor tried me on new antidepressant med a few years ago on a Tuesday, and next thing I knew, it was Thursday. That doc still owes me a Wednesday. Oh my God, I broke my nose from being headbutted in the face by my preschooler. Connor almost broke my eye socket doing that. He did. My whole freaking eye. I had like that blood, the red blood clot in my eye and everything from it. He jumped up as I reached down and we connected. Oh my God. Everybody in the gym was like, oh my God. I was just like, fine. Get him away from me. Get him away. I'm going to be violent. Get him away. Like nobody touched me. Just somebody gave me something cold. You're welcome. We love to spread the joy of earworms. That's great. There are so many songs that are friggin' like, once they get in my head, I'm like, thanks a lot. Winning does it to me all the time. That's why he did that Winning Saturday Night. The name of the song is Can't Get You Out of My Head. And if I have an earworm, I'm like, I can't get it out of my head. He's like, I know you can't get it out of your head. And I'm like, damn you. He's like, because then I immediately start singing that song. I'm like, can't get you out of my head. Oh, your loving is all I think about. And then that's it. That's all that's in my head. See, now it's there. He's not even here. And he can friggin' manipulate my thoughts. It's great. It's just great. If you ever have somebody that has that ability, make sure they're trustworthy. I got lucky. Okay. And even that, sometimes I'm like, okay, you can stop it. You can stop. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, stop messing with my brain. I used to do that to my aunt in the car. That's awesome. We never figured out why the meds did that to me, so I decided to try something else. I mean, a lot of antidepressants are sedatives. So you got to be careful. I mean, I like my antidepressants would put me to sleep. That's why I only took them at night because they would knock me the fuck out. And then they switched to the whole GABA and everything, and then I couldn't do shit. Just go stop, then start singing. Yep. That's what we did. That's what we did. What was the song I used to for Marty? Marty's got a thing about Grease. Grease song stick in his head. And if he was really pissing me off, I'd be like, you know what? I only got one thing to say to you. And he'd be like, what? I'd be like, Rama Lama Lama, a ding a ding ding. God damn it, Shelly. Ding a ding a dong, do wop, do wah, yippity boom ba doom, chay, da chay, bop, dip, do wop, do do, boogie woogie, shibba do wop, sha na, yippity dip, round. I mean, just to know those things in that order, that song that long, that's ridiculous that I have that knowledge. Your nipples chat is coming up. There you go. L is for the way you look. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. I mean, if you're going to come at me with a like crooner song, come on. Nat King Cole. I like the Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin version. They sang it as a duet during a medley. I loved when they used to do songs on the variety shows together because they crack each other up. Like you'd have one of them saying, what was that song? Way Marie. You got Dean Martin. He's like, Way Marie, hey Marie, Guanzona, Chimesipate. But he goes, Way Marie. And then Frank Sinatra goes over to the front of the stage and he does like we always do. He put his hand to his mouth. He's like, hey Marie, throw down the key, Marie. Because that's what we used to do. We never took our keys out with us as kids. Like, even as teenagers, I would go home and, what? Throw the key out. All right. Out the window it would come. But, yeah, no, it was, I used to love watching their skits together. I had a pit bull, and one day I leaned down to pick some up. At the same time, she looked up at me, and her brick head hit me in the forehead. It hurt like hell. Oh, yeah. Pit bull heads are no joke. Bruno did that to me across the street. He jumped up on the couch as I reached down to like get the remote off the coffee table, and we collided. And I was just like, oh my God, I see Tweety. Like there's just Tweety birds like all around. I saw stars, literal stars. I was like, Jesus Christ. I had such a knot on my forehead that I was like, Alyssa, your fucking dog gave me a concussion. She was like, I know, I'm so sorry. I was like, and he's just sitting there wagging his tail like, oh, look, we connected. Like, yeah, great. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Bruno. Go eat a friggin', frozen bone. He used to chew on these huge frozen bones that she would buy for him. She'd keep them in the freezer. They were like a foot long and like easily like, I couldn't wrap my hand around them. I could tell you that, but they were huge. Hour and a half tops and it would be gone. I was like, God damn, do you feed that dog? Like, what do you do to it? I love my child. He came in here. His poor nose is a spigot. Aw. So I had to keep him at home again. He goes, what's an earworm? Back to earbuds. Because my nipples chat is coming up. Les, what's up? She said, I've missed 3 hours. I did not get a notification. YouTube is asshole. Oh, I'm sorry. That's all right. It's been 3 hours of me freaking out. You'll see. But it's just been 3 hours of me going, I just don't want to be by myself. Keep me company. Like, just keep me company because I can't sleep and I don't want to be by myself. This is purely a hangout. Shelly's being a spaz kind of thing. It's fine. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Outpost Nerd, Frank and Dean were amazing. Yeah, they really were. The way they fed off of each other, like just the improv, it was phenomenal. And people were like, oh, that was scripted. You don't know Dean Martin then. Dean didn't do rehearsals, and Frank didn't like him either. And if you didn't get Frank in one take, you weren't getting a second. He walked off movies for people trying to do more than one take of a scene. He's like, I already did it. Yeah, but I want to do it from this angle. Then you should have had a camera on that angle. You're assed out, aren't you? Like, and he just walk off. I'm like, he's difficult. Yeah, but he makes your ass money. So you'll put up with it every time. Like every time. I just watched a thing about Mae West. Has anybody else watched like her bio thing? Oh my goodness, there's so many out there, but there's one on YouTube that's like really good. I think it's on Fascinate or something. Oh my god, though, like they were talking about her. They were like, oh well, you know, her body, she didn't have a good body. I'm like, she didn't have a good body. I would bang her like a screen door in a hurricane. Are you kidding me? I love hourglass figures. I do. I do. My first girlfriend was a stick figure. She was a model. She was like 90 pounds soaking wet, if that. Like, she was just all sharp angles and bone, and I didn't like it. And I mean, obviously, I liked it enough to date her for like a year, but I was also, 15 and I had no taste. And it was my first girlfriend. So it was a surprise to me. It was like, all right, any port in a storm. Um, but I've never gone for like skinny bitches. I just don't like, because I don't want to have to like protect you all the fucking time. And I don't want to lean into you and cuddle you and feel nothing but bone. But if you have like an hourglass figure, or you got a nice like squeezable like booty, like you got extra cake back there, oh, you got me. Like that's I'm here for it all day. Like, we're good. Like, let's go. But yeah, Mae West, I thought she was beautiful. They were like, oh, she was, her body and then her face and blah, blah, blah. I was like, she was literally the sexiest woman on the planet. She walked and talked and breathed sex appeal. So, like, they were like, oh, well, that was her personality winning through. No, her body too. What the fuck? And did y'all know that she wore like 8-inch heels? That's how she got her walk, because basically she was walking on stilts. Like, nobody else had platform heels like her, because she was only like 5 feet tall. That's all she was. So to get like, she wanted height. She didn't want to be this tiny little thing, because the shorter you are, like the chubbier you look, because you're so fucking short. So she just she would wear heels and it would elongate her body, and it added a different dimension. But to walk, she literally had to, like, every step was precise. And that's how she got the famous Mae West walk. But I mean, I love Mae West. I mean, if ever I lived like another life, like, she probably would have been the one that I chose, because she's just cool as hell, man. Like, she didn't take crap from anybody. She had every man wrapped around her little fingers. She made friends with all the females, even though she didn't have female friends in real life, because she said women are catty. She just hung out with dudes. But like, she was the shit. Yeah, she got away with things nobody else got away with, and nobody took advantage of her. She was like, see, no, you're gonna pay me. Trust me, darling, you're gonna pay me. Just trust me. Like, and I don't think she was vulgar. I really don't. I look at what's out there today and I'm like, that's vulgar. Mae West was just hot. Busy day today, but stopped by to say hi and drop the legs. Oh, thank you, Castro. Thank you, Castro. If you can't tell, I only slept an hour and a half. So I'm a little punchy. I'm getting that energy spike, which means I'm going to crash within about 10 minutes of that spike. So, oh, let me set my alarm because I can't miss the show tonight. I mean, I could technically. He misses all of mine, but not like that. 640, 645, 650, 700, 700, 7 o'clock. See, I'm done. I'm done. I just said 700 instead of 7 o'clock. On a rainy day, I ran into the garage, slipped and fell, hit my head on the concrete floor. My eyes go dark and I saw stars and colors before my sight came back. Scared the shit out of me. I mean, you fell. Oh, yeah, it does suck though. I've done that. I actually fell because the baby tripped me. Katie was a baby. She was crawling behind me and I didn't know it. And she tripped me. And rather than fall on her, I threw myself so that my body would clear hers and I would land like on the other side of her because I didn't want to go straight down the way I was going. So I launched myself outward and I landed on my head. And I just remember my grandmother running over and she has the dish towel in her hand and she's put it behind my head and she checks it. She goes, all right, you're not bleeding. Like, okay, but that doesn't mean I didn't just, my entire body just landed on the back of my head on a concrete floor. It hurts and I can't see much. There's all these black dots in front of me. She was like, yeah, but you're not bleeding. You're fine. And she handed me like a freaking something from, I don't even remember what it was. It was a bag of something from the freezer. She was like, here, put this on and go lay down. Oh, great. You might have a concussion. Why don't you go to sleep? Because my family wasn't trying to kill me. I had a rescue German Shepherd mix turn fast, and I leaned down and his canine teeth pierced under both of my eyes. Oh my God. I saw blood and I thought I was going to be blind. Went to work with 2 nasty black eyes. Oh my God. That sounds horrifying. Oh, Wolfkinder. Jesus. Elephant. I'm sorry that happened. Oh, I'm glad you didn't go blind. Jesus Christ. Elephant. I got to get going. Time to teach the chillins. Shelly, keep your head up and breathe. I'm going to try, honey. Thank you. Love you. Talk to you later. But, yeah, no, these kids, they'll mess you up. Most of my biggest injuries happen because of children. Like, whether it's like something getting dislocated or tripping, they trip me a lot. The cats like to try to trip me. They'll run across, like when I'm walking somewhere, they'll run between my legs and like between my feet. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And then have the nerve to like, when I hit them. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know you were there. What the hell? I stepped on you. I'm sorry. Next time, don't get under my feet. Lady Awesome said, I've fallen so much alone. Holding babies are just plain stupid. Yeah, I can't I can't pick just one to tell y'all. No, I think the best was for me was when grandma came out of the back room. I was shoveling. I had actually gotten stuck in the snow because I was young. I was like 7. So I was still like really, really short. And I got stuck in the snow. We had like 4 feet of snow in the backyard. And we had a 2-level yard. We had the sunken part, and then we had the part that was level with the house. And the sunken part was so that we had like the sub basement door and like the big air conditioning unit, the central air unit. And we had a drain so that if anything flooded, just open up the drain and away it goes. And it was filled with snow. And I was trying to like shovel off like the steps and everything, which I did. And then I was playing it and I don't know if it was like really packed and then I fell through, but I couldn't get out. So my grandma had to call my uncle. So he comes through the back of the gas station into the backyard And he comes down into the lower yard to get me because he's laughing, he's chuckling. And I'm just like, I'm so cold because I was stuck in it for like, it's not like he ran out. He came out at his leisure. And then grandma comes out of the back room and she's like, oh, honey budget, you all right? And she comes down. Now I shoveled off like the steps, but I didn't do them all apparently. I missed the last step. So when she went to walk, I'm sorry. She hit the third step and thought that she was in the clear. So when she stepped, she nope. And in her house dress with she had the brown house shoes with the compression socks on. And you just see her go, this little fat grandma down the whole stoop. She landed in the snow. And I don't know who was laughing harder, me or my uncle. But neither one of us went over to help her because we were too busy laughing. I mean, he dropped me back in the snow after picking me up. So, I mean, it was fucking funny. And I just remember hearing, you sons of bitches, you bastards, you think this is funny? Freaking come help me. And then she just launched into Italian. I was like, I ain't going over there. Not me, not it. I'm not it. No. But yeah, my uncle had to go, but it took him a while because he couldn't stop laughing. Just, you got a picture. She was your typical Italian grandmother. You know, a bun over here, knitting needle here, gold tooth here. She wore house dresses, that came to the knee. With the, she always had the same cardigan on and, paper towels in the bra and in the pockets and in the cardigan and in the sleeve. And it was like, Jesus Christ. She never used tissues, just paper towels. But they were Bounty, so they were soft. But she was like, oh, I'll blow right through a whole, a tissue. Like that can't, that's not strong enough. I need a paper towel. But yeah, grandma would be like, oh, come here, honey budget, let me wipe your face. And she'd take one of them out of her pocket and be like, don't put that on my face. I know you blow your nose in that. Do not put that on my face. This one's clean. Come here, you son of a bitch. All right. My uncle really thought his name was son of a bitch until he was 5. Because that's all she ever called him. It's all she ever called him. But, oh, God. We had so much fun. My mother doesn't fall a lot. She tends to not do well in water. She's the one that she'll sit on the inner tube and pretty soon you just see she'll lean back and all of a sudden her legs are up in the air and over she goes. Over she goes. And I'm like, how do you do that? Your ass literally fits in the hole in the inner tube. Just plop your ass in the middle and stay still. God, no, she'd have to lean back. And then as soon as she leaned back, whoop, right over. That's right. My grandfather couldn't float. He could not float. I used to put the swimmies, the flotation devices for your arms. I used to get the real big ones and I'd take some of the air out and I'd slip them over his feet onto his ankles so that he could float. And we would put one of the little rafts. Because we bought a raft just for him, for his butt. Because he was just this little tiny thing. But it was this little, it almost looked like a boogie board size. And just slide that under him because the inner tube was just too much. So he would have floaties on his arms, floaties on his ankles, and a little baby raft under his butt so that he could float. We had to go through all that just to get him to float for a couple minutes. Meanwhile, grandma would be like, oh, look at me. And she'd just lay back and her whole body would just whoop right to the top. And he would go, Kate, fat floats. She'd be like, then why don't you float, you son of a bitch? I tell you, you could feel the love in my house. So much of it. They were so nice to one another. I don't know. In my family, like being mean to each other is almost a sign of affection. Like, but I never took it that way because I didn't get all the like the smiling parts and the funny parts. Like I didn't get like the regular affection. All I got was like the insults and the sarcasm and everything. So yeah, I mean that is why I am the way I am. But I don't know. Anyway, don't worry, lady. You don't have to come up with a story. I won't take it to the fence. Take it to the fence, y'all. Take it to the fence. But I think I can sleep. I do. Because I feel myself kind of getting loopy now, like loopier than before. So I think I'm okay. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and just for being awesome. Because I really I needed a friend. And since my normal, teddy bear is sleeping, I think. Like I said, I don't want to bother him with this. So I'll bother you. That's all right, right? It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Butter parquet. I'm trying to think of something to leave you with in you that's going to stick in your head. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. There you go. That'll keep you going. That'll pop back in like an hour and you're going to curse me. Can't wait. Can't wait. Make sure you let me know. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I love you guys a lot. Like, I was a mess and now I feel like I could sleep. I'm just going to take it as it comes, right? Take it as it comes. All right. I will see you in, maybe not in the funny papers, but maybe in the funny farm. I might see you. But until then, I will see you tomorrow morning. Love y'all.
Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. 4 a.m. at a diner, stop singing, living on a
And doggone it, people like me.
I'm thinking maybe you're a Jersey girl with all those highlights in your hair. No other girl can move like you. We pump our fists, damn right it's true. And I don't care what they might say, they'll never get us anyway. So be my Jersey girl, and take a little ride with me tonight. And let's get dirty, girl. I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. The way you turn it up, turn me on, and then you take it off. Make it hot, make it loud. We'll wake the whole town. Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside.
Yeah, listen up. Let me tell you about a girl from Jersey. She was looking so fine with her hips so curvy. I wanna over down and see side lights in a boardwalk fight at the end of the night. Hey, hold up, got a situation, got condensation from the girl's gyration. She's hot like the girl next door with a tig gold bitties that I can't ignore.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
I'd be a